Raising a glass at the First Turn Bar. Your race day is whatever you want it to be. Make reservations today at oaklawn.com.
This is my Oaklawn.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Whit Davis Lumber Plus is turning 72, and they're celebrating all month long. 72 years of service, selection, smiles, and most of all, you. And what's a celebration without a giveaway? But here's the catch. You have to stop by one of their 4 locations, Jacksonville, Cabot, Sherwood, or Greenbrier, to get the details. Come on in, check out the deals, and be part of the fun. Whit Davis Lumber Plus, where the plus is service. Since 1953.
This is the Pigskin Preacher, bringing you the word. Murderous dictator Joseph Stalin supposedly said, "A single death is a tragedy. 1,000,000 deaths are a statistic." When Syria broke free of the iron grip of the Assad family after 53 years of brutal repression, thousands came forward in an attempt to find friends and relatives who had disappeared into Syria's notorious prisons. It is estimated that 30,000 people were beaten, tortured, and executed. And then the leader, Assad, escaped to Russia, where he's now living large. But this evil man will not escape the judgment of Almighty God. At the 34 locations Doublebee's has across Arkansas, we live by the golden rule, by treating customers as we would want to be treated ourselves. We stock the things you need, because Doublebee's is where you gas it, grab it, and go. That's Doublebee's.
Live from the Gwatney Chevrolet Studios, this is Out of Bounds with Joe Franklin and Wes Moore on 103.7 The Buzz. Weekend Recap, brought to you by Fleet Management Services, serving Central Arkansas for over 20 years. They're your small to mid-size specialist. When you need someone to service your fleet and get your employees back on the road quick, call 501-375-3672.
All right, Weekend Recap. Yes, we got a big one to recap. A lot of things. It seemed like it was a 3-day weekend with Easter, but we were here on Friday and just too quick. It was just, we crammed a lot in 2 days. And really, the baseball and softball team did. And unfortunately, the football team didn't get to play. I was just telling Acre, man, I remember when the schedule came out and we looked at this weekend, you were going to have a baseball game against a top opponent in Texas A&M, a softball game, the red-white game. I was like, man, what a great day to be in Fayetteville. All said and done, nothing happened. Everything was moved and canceled.
Weather turns everything. And that was a case of you want to keep everybody safe at all times, but there's no way to really plan for it, but you just have to plan around it whenever it happens.
Yeah, I thought the baseball team did the smart thing playing the doubleheader. I thought they screwed up, though, Friday night. You know, when we were on and talking about it earlier, they told us they were going to play 2 9-inning games, a doubleheader, and they were going to take 30 minutes in between games. Clear out the stadium, clean it up. Everybody had a ticket. You had to leave. Then that brings everybody else with a new ticket to come in for the second game of the doubleheader, the third game of the series. They didn't do that, Joe. They didn't. They went a full hour in between games, and it ended up costing them because they're in the 7th inning, and that storm hits. The lightning hit. It never rained until later on, but they got a lightning strike within the radius, and they had to leave the field, and fans had to go up in the concourse, and it screwed Arkansas because they had their top reliever, Jimenez, on the mound, but unfortunately he's coming off of Tommy John surgery, and Dave Van Horn said, after sitting him for that 30-minute lightning delay, I'm not going to take him back out there. We've got to be a little cautious with him and his arm, and I agree with that. yeah, you don't want that pitcher sitting around for that extended break as he's coming off of Tommy John surgery. And so they had take their top reliever out and bring in another guy, and then it was just all downhill from there. Cole Gibbler came in. He didn't have his breaking stuff, his slider. He kept bouncing it. They sat on his fastball and pounded it. And then they brought in Wiggins, and I remember hearing Phil and Bubba, they didn't feel like Wiggins had enough time to warm up because, he thought, Wiggins is going in. Wiggins has got this inning. I'll get the next inning. All of a sudden, Gibbler couldn't throw a strike. They were teeing off on the fastball, and they had to get Wiggins in there, and he wasn't ready, and they teed off on him. And next thing you know, anyway, if it kind of all goes back to that decision, if they would have stayed with it and just had that 30-minute little delay or 30 minutes in between each game, then Jimenez gets to pitch a little bit longer before they lightning strike. I know it's all looking back, ifs and buts, and almost playing, instead of playing a Monday morning quarterback, I'm playing Monday morning meteorologist. Going, man.
Was there a reason given that they took extra time?
No. In fact, I remember watching the end of the game, and I believe it ended like at 5:05. And I was like, okay, they're going to start the second game at 5:35, 30 minutes in between games. They didn't start the next game until 6 o'clock, a little bit after 6.
That had to be a decision that both coaches agreed upon to make it a longer stretch there. But, yeah, when you go in with a certain plan and it doesn't work out for you in the end, of course it's going to be second-guessed if you change something.
I'm probably one of the few that's second-guessing it because I just see the timing of it all and just how it really – that series turned on the lightning delay. And it's unfortunate because the Lightning, I was talking to my meteorologist because I was about to go on the newscast. I'm like, when is this thing going to, are they going to be able to play tonight? What's it look like? He's like, well, that storm is well to the northwest of Fayetteville, and it's not even coming towards Fayetteville. It's going the other way. And, yes, this lightning strike was like 20.1 miles away, but that storm is not even going to come close to Fayetteville. That's as close as it's going to get, And it's like it's just unfortunate that one lightning strike is what's called the delay. And they even said when they came back from the delay, it never rained. It was just because that one lightning strike 20 miles away, like towards Siloam Springs. And they did have some storms later that night that were coming towards Fayetteville, and it eventually started raining while they were trying to finish up the game. But it was just a very unfortunate lightning strike, very unfortunate with the timing of it when you have Jimenez on the mound. And then it all kind of goes back to that decision to go an hour in between games instead of 30 minutes.
Anytime lightning is close in the area, they're going to proceed with caution. So you can't really fault them for that. But
no.
And they never know about timing. But just the way it played out, then, yeah, you could be looking at a different result because it was a close game at that point. And then Texas A&M took control.
They have rules, SEC rules when it comes to the outdoor events. They have the lightning, the radius, and how long you have to sit out before the next, before you can come back and play. And if then there's another lightning delay or strike while you're in this delay, that resets the clock and it starts all over. So, I mean, there are very specific rules. There's nothing they can do about that. It happens. I know I've been at the games at War Memorial Stadium before, and they've got the guys up there with that equipment, and they're watching it. It happens. They notify the head official or the guy over the officials. He radios down, bam, done. It's a delay. Got to sit there until that time is up, and he continues to watch for lightning. So, no, that is well watched, and there's no way of getting around that part of it. All right, coming up on the show today, we got Matt Jones joining us at 2:10. We'll recap the series against Texas A&M. Unfortunately, of course, Arkansas lost that series 2-1 to Texas A&M. Next up, Little Rock Trojans tomorrow night, Wednesday night, and then they'll head to Florida, head to Gainesville to play the Florida Gators. Gators, I'd say struggling in the SEC. Not as good as we thought they were going to be. Usually Florida, you can think of Florida as being one of the top 6 teams in the SEC, and this year they're towards the bottom of the SEC. So this is a weekend Arkansas needs to get back on track, win that series. I know it's on the road, doesn't matter. Arkansas is a better team, needs to fix what's ailing them and start playing better baseball, and that's just the fact They didn't play well this weekend. They didn't deserve to beat Texas A&M. They didn't hit well enough, and they obviously didn't pitch well enough in Game 3. I was disappointed because I thought they would win that game because their bullpen. Their bullpen is one of the strengths of the team, if not the strength of the team, and I said their bullpen's better than Texas A&M's bullpen, especially after their best pitcher, Moss, went on Thursday night and wouldn't be available on Friday. Well, it didn't go as planned. Well, the bullpen was great in Game 1 of the doubleheader. Game 2, bullpen was bad. Bullpen lost it. And Texas A&M's bullpen outpitched Arkansas's bullpen, and that's why they won the series. And that's the disappointing thing to me. But it's one game for the bullpen. I feel like they're still a strength. It doesn't change anything in my mind. Still a lot of good pitchers out there in the bullpen. They just didn't pitch well that day against A&M, and part of it's A&M. It's a good hitting team, and they're hot right now. They're full of confidence, and they are rolling. And I see them only going to this series this weekend, Texas A&M. Look, if you get a chance when Arkansas is not playing, you're not watching something else, check that series out. That is going to be outstanding. Texas has been getting it done with their starting rotation and their bullpen. Their pitching has been fantastic. But to see Texas A&M hitters going up against those Texas pitchers, that's must-see TV. That's going – and then you got all the Schlossnagel stuff going on behind the scenes, leaving A&M, going to Texas, and the rivalry. It's a great series. I saw it's being televised this weekend too.
That's why Texas is as good as they've been this season.
That's part of it.
And A&M may have taken a bit of a step back, but it seems like they're starting to figure things out now.
Let's go to let me give you the lineup. Besides Matt Jones at 210, we've got Andrew Armstrong, former Razorback wide receiver. He's going to join us here in about 15 minutes and talk about the draft process, what all he's learned, what the scouts are telling him, what he's seeing, hearing from NFL teams. Just catch up with him. What a great year for Andrew Armstrong to lead the SEC in receiving and in receiving yards. So I'm glad we get a chance to catch up with him. Let me see the D3 Auto Sales text line. Oh, Ron in Pine Bluff never fails. Blessing us, giving us a blessed day. Thank you, Ron. Thank you for listening. Didn't hear the Doubles Beast commercial, guys. I had to start and listen to it. It was announced from the beginning it was 1 o'clock, 1 hour between the games. I'm pretty sure it was 30 minutes. Am I wrong? I thought it was 30 minutes in between Game 1 and Game 2 of the doubleheader. I thought that was the announcement. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just DAL. DAW. TP says, stop crying, Wes. Arkansas is coming down to reality. TP, quit texting me. Just stop. I'm not in the mood for your crap. I don't know. I'm not putting up with it. Just stop. Everything from you is negative, and I'm done with you. I'm sick of it. Rocco Pepe is not the go-to guy at first base. I would rather see Robinette play. Pepe's got experience, I would say. And, look, that was his first game back. He's got to, get his timing back, get back in the flow of things. I'm not against Robinette. Looked good against UAPB with 3 doubles. But Rocco Pepe, and just thinking the way Dave Van Horn thinks, Pepe's a veteran. He's been around. He's going to go with the veteran player. That's just the way we've all watched him long enough. He gives veterans a lot of slack. And I see Rocco Pepe's going to get more opportunities than Reese Robinette. I hope he doesn't give up on the freshman either. But I see Pepe coming in, and I'll ride with Pepe for a while, see what he can get done. What's up, Corn Dog?
Hey, what's up, guys?
That's good.
Hey, I hope y'all both had a great Easter.
Thanks, man.
Oh yeah,
and your families
you
as
too.
well. So, I don't, Joe. I don't know if you listened to the mock draft yesterday.
No,
Did
didn't
you
get a
see
chance
where
to
they
hear
were
it.
predicting that Deion Sanders' son was going to go to the Steelers?
That'd be a good move if he was there and available at 21. Don't really know if that's going to happen though.
No, I don't either. I mean, but it would probably be good for him to, to sit under Russell Wilson for 1 year.
Well, Russ he's with the Giants, and there's a chance that they take him. So if it happened like that, then that's where he would have to sit behind Russ for a bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at Aaron Rodgers. How many years did Aaron Rodgers have to sit behind Brett Favre before he became a quarterback?
4.
So, I mean,
How the times have changed. First round pick sitting 4 years.
oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's a different ball game these days for sure. But anyway, I just wanted to get Joe's opinion because me and Joe both are big Steelers fans. So.
Corn Dog, I heard and thanks for the call. I heard a story this morning. Not a story, but it was a report. I was listening to Dan Patrick while I was working out, and he said his guy was telling him about the whole Aaron Rodgers situation with the Steelers, and Aaron is waiting. He wants to wait and see what the Steelers and another team does in the draft. He doesn't want to have a situation like Kirk Cousins last year.
Exactly.
Sign with the Falcons, then they draft a quarterback in the first round, then he has to deal with that. He wants to go to a team that is committed to him this year and next year for 2 years and wants to use that first-round pick to make the team better.
See, in that case, Steelers may be out. So there has to be some compromise somewhere because they've shown they're not willing to commit to any quarterback past this upcoming season, and especially somebody that they're bringing in. Now, if they draft a player, that's a different story. But to bring a quarterback in, whether it be Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, anybody else whose name has been floated to Steelers and could be connected, they're not willing to do that. That's what they've shown. But as far as a first-round draft pick, there's a number of different directions they could go in. It could be quarterback. It could be running back, defensive tackle, receiver. There are a lot of options on the table and a lot of different positions they're looking at.
Yeah, just minutes ago, I think it was Todd McShay was on, and he was like, we've all kind of got our final mock draft, and it seems like there are a lot of similar names with similar teams, and everyone may be taking it for granted this is what's going to happen. And he said, I've had more and more scouts in the last couple of days say, Todd, you got to think outside the box, because there are some that we're seeing that's basically written in stone that we don't think is going to happen. Mm-hmm. And they mentioned the Raiders as being one of them. Everyone thinks the Raiders are going to take Genty. And they said there could be a surprise there.
Yeah, they're another team that could go quarterback, running back. I don't really know what else is on the table for them, but those are two positions that they've talked about. So.
Defensive end's what he was saying. That there's a defensive end, I can't remember which one, but that they feel like it's gaining some traction, and that may be the direction that they go.
Well, it's one of those things, too, where best available player at pick 6, if there's somebody out there that, in their eyes, is high on their board but happens to fall, then, like, let's say Shedeur Sanders, for example, if he's high on their board and he gets down to 6 and he's available, Ashton Genty is available, and they have other players there, they have a decision to make.
He even mentioned that it's the possibility of Shedeur Sanders being there for Pittsburgh at 21. He said that there are a lot of teams in the 20s that are taking calls for teams, already kind of feeling them out what it'll cost to trade back up into the first round, to take a look at Jackson Dart, or in case Shedeur Sanders keeps on sliding, what it would take to get into the first round.
Jackson Dart is another unknown there because his range is anywhere from 9 with Saints to going somewhere later in first round to maybe Rams.
Who is it? There's a team in the 20s. They only have 4 picks. They have like the fewest picks in the draft this year. I can't remember who he said, but he said that team probably is going to trade out. That they'll trade down and pick up some extra picks.
That makes sense.
That the teams are going to be looking to get back into the mid-20s, somewhere in the 20s, to take a quarterback in the first round.
And then there'll be teams that have stocked up this year in particular, where they have a lot of draft picks, 8 or 9, maybe 10 in some cases. You know that 10 players aren't making your roster, so you're not going to make 10 picks. Mm-hmm. You would be willing to trade up and move around with some of that, or even if you traded back and stockpiled maybe for next year's draft. But teams that have that many picks, it doesn't make sense for them to just go with the draft board in front of them and pick where they're supposed to, because in reality, if you have 8, 9, 10 picks, those players aren't making your roster.
McShay feels like there's going to be a run of edge rushers, defensive ends there in the first round early. And he said he thinks it's just going to be one right after another. There's just going to be – and that's going to help some of the teams that aren't in the market for a defensive end or an edge rusher. And some of the top players, some really good players, are going to slide and be available when they pick later on in the first round, picks 10 through 20. That there's going to be some nice players available.
Every team could use a good edge rusher, but depending on situation, there may not be a need for certain teams.
All right, we got to where are we? Yeah, we got to take a break. Andrew Armstrong's going to join us next, former Razorback wide receiver, getting ready for the NFL draft. We'll pick his brain about what this process has been like and who some of the teams are that seem to be the most interested in taking him in the draft Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. Later on, we got Matt Jones, WholeHogSports.com. It is a weekend recap brought to you by Fleet Management Services. Glad you're hanging out with us. Stick around. It's going to be a fun day. It's Out of Bounds.
Chris Kane joins Morning Mayhem each Monday to mix it up with the guys. Chris Kane on Morning Mayhem is presented by Trader Bills. Trader Bills, your one-stop shop for all things Lake.
This is Sports Center.
Arkansas baseball dropped their second series of the year, their second in a row also, this time to Texas A&M. They lost Game 1 on Thursday night 7-4, and then won Game 1 of the doubleheader on Friday 11-5 before dropping Game 2 9-2. After the series, Dave Van Horn talked about the difficulty of playing doubleheaders.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long day. You never know how it's going to go. It's really hard to beat somebody twice in one day, especially when they're good. And we knew that, but we were right there. We had a chance. When you're at home, you're down a run, going into the seventh, lightning delay or whatever hits, and we kind of just didn't respond well to that. Hopefully you learn from it.
Arkansas will get back to action tomorrow for a 2-game midweek series against Little Rock. First pitch will be at 6:30. They'll then travel to Florida this weekend for a 3-game series. I'm Christian Weaver for the Buzz Radio Network.
Brewski's Sports Bar is your home for college baseball with 2 great locations, downtown and North Little Rock. Open daily for lunch at 11 a.m. and nobody beats their happy hour Monday through Friday till 7. Think you're a trivia champ? Prove it. Tuesdays at 7 downtown, Wednesdays at 7 North Little Rock. Hey, North Little Rock, it's crawfish boil season. Every Thursday at 6 p.m. Get 3 pounds for just $25 with sausage, corn, and taters, hot and fresh till they sell out. Get in here. Brewski's, your home for lunch, happy hour, and late night.
Tune in to Out of Bounds to hear from Captain Kendall Diggs. Brought to you by Stephen Elmore with Shelter Insurance. For auto, home, life, or business insurance, see Shelter Agent Stephen Elmore or give him a call at 501-537-0959.
This is Justin Acree with some exciting news. UAMS Ortho Now is now open at the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health. If you have an orthopedic injury, sports, work, or anything else, walk in and get the best in orthopedic care. No appointment needed. Ortho Now is open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to noon. Conveniently located at the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health. For more information, call 501-686-TOSH. That's 501-686-8674.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and skip the regular line at the airport and pay for speedy security. Imagine not having to quickly unpack and pack at the place you already came packed to. And wearing your shoes the whole time you're there? You can't put a price on that kind of luxury. Well, actually you can, and you paid for it. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for speedy security. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
It's time to find appliances that fit your needs and your style at the Home Depot. Shop Spring Black Friday savings and get up to 35% off select appliances like GE Profile, plus free delivery. From all-in-one washer-dryer combos that can wash and dry a full load in under 2 hours to feature-loaded refrigerators with built-in autofill water pitchers, GE Profile has appliances made to simplify your life and elevate your home. Shop Spring Black Friday savings on top brand appliances and get free delivery happening now at the Home Depot. Free delivery on appliance purchases of $396 or more. Offer valid April 3rd through April 23rd. U.S. only. See store online for details.
Out of Bounds, live from the Gwatney Chevrolet studio.
There's a place off Ocean Avenue where I used to sit and talk.
Back at it, it is Out of Bounds. I'm Wes Moore. He's Joe Franklin. And this is Andrew Armstrong. NFL Draft begins Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Andrew Armstrong will hear his name called at some point. What's up, Andrew? How are you?
Doing good. How y'all doing?
Man, it's outstanding. I'm excited for the draft. What's it like for you? What's this feeling? I mean, it's a life-changing week for you.
It's a great feeling, just being here, being with family, being back at home, and knowing all the work you put in to get to this certain point in life. Like, it's great, and it make you feel like just a certain way about it all.
Andrew, where have you been training throughout this process?
So before the combine thing, I was training at Exos in Frisco, and after that, we came back to Frisco to train some more for the pro day, and then I was training in Arkansas for a little bit. But the past 2 weeks, I've been in Dallas, Texas.
How do you feel like the training went for you?
I feel like it went great. I've seen a transformation in my body, my strength, my speed, just everything. I feel like it went exactly as planned.
So throughout this process, all teams, they can always use a good receiver. Have you heard from a lot of teams, or have you heard from just a handful where you can kind of narrow it down and who's really interested?
No, I've heard from every team. I heard from all of them. I think it's probably like one or two, but I've heard from majority all of them. Either.
What is the process like for you? I mean, we all grew up, or football players grew up dreaming of being in the NFL, and you're just a step away from it, and you're doing interviews and working out for these guys and the scouts, and just what is that like?
Since the season been over, our college season been over, it's almost like every day now. Like, you just work out, you talk to some teams. Some days you may not talk to teams, and you still have to work out. Just making sure that when that time does come, and when you do go down there to the team that drafts you, just making sure that you're ready, making sure your body's ready, and just making sure that you have everything, all the puzzles put together to succeed in that moment, and just being ready. That's the main thing, just being ready and making sure you're working out every day and just taking it one day at a time.
What are some of the things you've wanted teams to learn from you throughout this process where going into it they may not have known about you?
That I'm a dog. No matter the ball in my hands and no matter the ball not in my hands, like I want them to know that. I want them to know that when you watch film or tape on me, like you can see me. I'm noticeable, like every play. Whether I'm catching the ball or whether I'm running a route on somebody or blocking somebody or just my physicality, being able to take a hit, just all those things to make somebody a complete receiver. I feel like that's me, and I feel like that's what I wanted all the scouts to see.
Got Andrew Armstrong with us, former Razorback wide receiver. Andrew, how does it make you feel? Because it ticks me off when I see some of the mock drafts, the projections for you. You led the SEC in receiving. You led the SEC in receiving yards. I'm like, that's the best league in the country. This is a really good wide receiver. And I see that you could go in the 5th round. I'm like, are you crazy? Well, if it happens that way, somebody's going to get a sleeper. Do you have that kind of – does that make you have a chip on your shoulder?
I mean, I've been having a chip on my shoulder for a long time, since I was around 6, 7 years old. It's kind of normal to me now. Like when I see things like that, it's just like I just gotta go through, show them that I can do it, or show them, that's just my mentality about things. Because I know that's the way God wanted my journey to go. Like, from when I was little, everybody saying I'm too small, I can't do this, I'm not fast enough. Just continuing in the work, continuing to grind, because I know the type of person I am, I know the type of player I can be, and I'm the type of player that I am, and just working on that, proving myself right. That's my main thing. I want to prove myself right rather than proving so many people wrong, because I know, like I said, I know the type of person I am. I know the type of player that I am. So I just want to continue to prove myself right, no matter where I go, no matter what round, no matter what pick. Like, just making sure that I stay true to myself and not worry too much about outside noise, and just continue to be that type of receiver that I can be.
When teams are questioning the speed and saying you may not be fast enough, but you seem to have a tendency to get open, what's the key to being able to get open like that?
I mean, like I said, I watched a lot of football, I played a lot of football, and just knowing the type of DBs that they are. Like I said, everybody can say I could be slow or whatever. I ran a 4.3 at pro day, so that's not that slow. But a lot of people try to say things about, oh, he's not fast, he wants to create separation, things like that. But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm a football player, and I know what type of guy that I am when it comes to me playing on the field. Knowing what a DB, watching film, knowing what a DB, what I can do against a DB that's going to make him wrong, and just always trying to make the DB wrong when he goes up against me. So creating that separation against man, knowing when to sit down in zones, I feel like that's one of my key attributes that I have as a receiver, and I feel like that's a lot of people may not see that or may think I won't create separation, things like that. But all I can tell them is just watch, just wait and see. Like I said when I first got to the SEC.
Got Andrew Armstrong with us on Out of Bounds. Andrew, what is the one play from last year you want to make sure that the NFL scouts, coaches have seen? What is that one play?
That one play is when I got hit against Auburn, my helmet flew off, and I got back in the game like 2 plays later. Like, just showing them my toughness, showing them my physicality, because I could always say I want them to see a play that I caught the ball, or a play that I blocked somebody. Like, yeah, I block people, of course. I want them to see that too. Like, I want them to see me pancaking people, but just showing my toughness, showing what I can endure. Like, nothing's gonna stop me from taking me off that field. And I feel like it's that Auburn play when I got my helmet knocked off, and people didn't think I was gonna get back in the game.
Joe, I remember that play. I was watching. I was like, "Oh, he's done. He's done for the day. Arkansas screwed. There's no way. They're just losing their top receiver." And then, yeah, a couple plays later, there you are back in the game.
Oh yeah, like I said, I'm a football player. Like, no matter what it is, I want to be on that field. I want to contribute to the team. So I had in my mind I was getting back in it. Once I caught my breath again, I knew I was getting back in the game.
Also, another great attribute you have there, Andrew, is contested catches. So you bring a lot of different things to the table, but what is it about making these contested catches also when somebody is draped all over you?
I mean, it's like I said, it's just me. Like, I've been doing it. I've been working on it for a long time, just knowing that when the ball is in the air, I know what type of body I have. I know the type of arm length I have, and I know that if I stretch my arms out a certain amount and trust my hands, I feel like it's going to be extremely hard for a defender to try to knock that out. And just having strong hands, trusting your hands, trusting your body, knowing that you can do this, and when the ball is in the air, it's yours. Those are the key things to knowing that I can make those contested catches.
Andrew, grew up in Dallas. Did you grow up a Cowboys fan?
No, I actually grew up a Chiefs fan, Kansas City Chiefs fan. My dad's from Kansas City, and I've always been just a Chiefs fan for a long, long time.
What visits
went through the bad stage with Alex Smith and Jamal Charles.
You're not a bandwagon fan.
Oh no, I'm not a bandwagon fan. No. I was here when we just beat the Broncos in the playoffs, and that's about all we had with us. So, but now the Chiefs doing their thing. So yeah, it's always been my favorite team.
Yeah, and that's another team that is always looking for good quality receivers. So that would be, I'm sure, a dream come true. But dream come true just to get drafted and go through the NFL process. So what do you think coming up this weekend is going to be like for you?
It's going to be great. Like, I give it all to God. Just like I said, no matter where it is, no matter where it's at, I feel like it's going to be a great time. No matter if it's the first round, if you're in the first round, or if you're Mr. Irrelevant, like just. And I'm not even just speaking for myself. I'm speaking for everybody. I feel like it's going to be an exciting weekend for everybody that's just grinded and put all the time, some blood, sweat, and tears, and literal blood, sweat, and tears into this. Just getting to this moment, getting to this time to get to enjoy all your accomplishments and more accomplishments to come.
What did you think of your time as a Razorback?
I thought it was extremely well, extremely good. Me growing as a person, me learning more things about football, playing up to the competition that I was playing in. Coming from Commerce, it was competitive there as well. But the SEC is another beast, it's another giant. So just getting there, playing, and being the type of person that I was, when I first came in, and then when I ended up leaving, I seen a whole bunch of growth, just like body wise, strength wise, mind-wise, smarts-wise while on the field, just a lot of things. I feel like, Coach Pitt, Coach Petrino, Coach Guyton, Coach Fouts, all the coaches, all the training staff, my brothers, the football players, just everybody, academic people, they just made sure everybody was great, made sure I was great, and it was a great time there.
How did Arkansas prepare you for what's to come next for you?
Oh, they prepared me, extremely well. Just, from weight room to practice to film room, just making sure that I'm on it. And, but at the end of the day, I have to make sure that I'm on it myself, because at the end, you have to want it, as a player. The coach can do everything for you, but at the end of the day, you got to want it as a player. So I feel like, my want to be great, my want to not just be a great football player, but to be a great person, I feel like, they helped me with that extremely.
How about Petrino's offense and preparing you for the NFL? Andrew?
His offense, can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, Petrino offense, it's been great. What was it, fifth in the country last year? Like total offense or something like that?
Yeah.
Like Petrino's offense is great. You got a whole bunch of you're gonna run a whole bunch of routes, and you're going to block. It's a battle between both. And if you don't block, you're not going to be in the game, So I feel like, he just gets you prepared to make sure if you go to a team that runs the ball, is there a run-first team? Making sure that you're ready to block. If you go to a team that's a pass-first team, make sure you're ready to run routes, and make sure you're running those routes, 100 miles per hour. So I feel like Petrino's, offense was a great addition to the Arkansas Razorbacks football team last year, and it's going to be even better this year. So he definitely, got us ready for the draft.
What was it like being the go-to guy in that offense, and also having that connection with Taylor Green?
It was great, just being that person or that guy, that could just be counted on. I feel like I put a lot of work in to be that guy, and when it came down to it, and we needed a first down, or we needed, to get down the field, me being that guy that he was going to trust and throw it to, and believed in me, and knowing that I was going to catch it if he touched my fingertips, it was great. It was exciting.
Andrew, is there a receiver you kind of compare yourself to or look up to, want to kind of be like?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Devontae Adams. For the simple fact of he, a lot of people say he wasn't that fast or he's not that fast. And like they say, I'm not that fast or whatever. And, his knowing of man and zone, like not doing too much, just getting there, getting open. And I feel like that's what I do a lot with my game. Like, I'm not the flashiest person in the world, but I get the job done, and I get the job done extremely well. So like I said, just knowing man, zone coverages, knowing what type of press they do, knowing the type of release I want to do, not taking too long on my releases, getting straight to it. And I feel like that's what I'll try to model my game after.
What are your plans for draft? Are you having a draft party, or is it going to be something quiet with the family?
Thursday, all the way through Saturday. Like, friends and family going to come over and just have some fun, enjoy time.
Are you hearing anything? Are the scouts telling you about when to expect to be picked, or your agent? Well, you got a feel?
Yeah, but I'm gonna just let it happen. I'm gonna just let it happen, man. Let God take it and just see what happens.
Do you have a dream team that you would love to get picked by?
Nah, not really. I just want to play football at this point. You know, I don't really have a dream team for real that I want to get picked by, but you know, whatever team picks me, they're going to get somebody that's going to grind and make sure, you know, I do what I have to do and just be a great player.
Would you rather go to a warm weather city, or what if Buffalo Bills draft you, or one of those cold weather cities? Are you cool with that?
Yeah, I'm definitely cool with that. I feel like, you know, of course people probably it's 99.9% people don't like the cold, but I feel like I excel in bad weather situations. So I feel like, you know, wherever it is, like I said, let's play football. I always want to play football and just, you know, do what I have to do.
Why is that? Why do you think you excel in cold weather or bad weather situations?
I feel like, you know, just adversity. Like you said, remember we were speaking on like having that chip on my shoulder about, you know, being overlooked and things like that. That just goes into that. Like, we're in a cold weather game. A lot of people probably worried about the weather or worried about why it's cold and stuff like that. And that's why I feel like I can really just excel, because I'm not worried about the weather. I'm worried about playing football. And, you know, you got, like I said, other people may be worried about the weather things. So I feel like that's where you really, really excel more. I feel like I excel like even greater when people aren't ready for it.
When did you start playing football and any other sports growing up?
I started playing football with flag football. I want to say I was 5 years old, something like that. And I also started, when we got to like a certain age, I actually started to play up. Cause I used to play up with my older brother when he was on like 18. We had 18, B team, C team, flag team, things like that. And so I was supposed to be on B team, but I actually was playing up on 18 with my older brother. And yeah, it was fun.
When you went to Texas A&M Commerce, did you ever see this day coming?
I actually, to be honest, I actually did. Towards that so my first year, like I said, at Commerce, I didn't play. I redshirted. My second year was COVID year. We didn't play again. Third year, the COVID seniors came back, and we were still Division II. So the first year I actually played at Commerce was my last. Like, first year I played 4 years was my last year, and so, you know, once I did great that year, you know, I wasn't even going to leave, but a lot of people wanted me to leave, so I ended up leaving. But I definitely felt like, you know, if I just kept doing what I was going to do at Commerce, I definitely seen this day coming.
Well, we're glad you came to Arkansas. It was a fun couple of years watching you play, and good luck to you this week at the draft and in your NFL career, man. I appreciate your time. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. No problem.
It's Andrew Armstrong joining us on Out of Bounds. I think got some new fans. I already saw it on the D3 Auto Sales text line. Some people impressed with the interview and with Andrew Armstrong and what all the things he had to say. That's why we'd like to do it. Get to know these guys a little bit before they head off into the NFL draft. Can you imagine, though, Joe, just sitting there? I mean, right now, you just moved from Fayetteville back to Dallas, your hometown, and who knows when, but in the matter of minutes, your life's about to change, and you're about to move across the country or maybe down the street to Dallas and start a new life, basically.
Right.
And you have no idea where that road's going to take you.
Yeah, but you're just always ready for the moment, and just hearing from Andrew, he's done well throughout the process, and he's not even letting his mind go there as far as where it can go and where he could possibly get drafted. He just wants to let it happen.
Pretty cool. We'll take a break. We'll wrap up the first hour when we come back. Phone lines are open if you want to jump in here. It's Out of Bounds.
The Bumper to Bumper Certified Service Center's Indoor Car Show, Saturday, May 3rd at the Conway Expo Hall. Best of show wins a $1,000 Visa gift card. Pre-register at btbautoparts.com. That's btbautoparts.com. Presented by Joe's Garage and Dewdrop Auto Repair.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Now, your big ideas don't have to wait. They have everything they need to come to life because Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas. A technology that loves expanding your business and evolving your passion. We push what technology can do so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
Crawfish season is finally back at Eat My Catfish. We've got fresh, live crawfish, and all you have to do is just add the fixins. Be sure to come see us or order online at eatmycatfish.com. Eat local, eat fresh, Eat My Catfish.
Spring into big bloomin' wins at Southland Casino Hotel. Earn entries in April to win your share of up to $100,000 in free play or a 2025 GMC Denali Sierra on April 26th. On Fridays, play Take It or Leave It for your share of $215,000 in free play. Saturdays through April 19th, win $1,500 in free play every 15 minutes. Big wins and a brand new Denali. Only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
The electric cooperatives got its start lighting Arkansas, and we continue to meet that demand with every resource we can deliver. We're powering your life where you live every single day through one of 17 local cooperatives, each unique, always united, and in your community. Our mission? To provide reliable, affordable, and responsible power to every corner of Arkansas. It's the local hometown cooperative way, because we're better connected together. The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas.
Are you sick and tired of living with that constant pain in your knees or your back? You know, joint pain doesn't just keep you from doing what you love. It affects your job, your relationships, even simple things like getting dressed. Hey everybody, it's RJ. It's time to call QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics uses advanced regenerative medicine to restore and repair damaged joint tissue, giving you your life back. Hips, shoulders, elbows, they can all be treated with natural biologics from your own body. If you're tired of steroid shots that don't work, or if you're trying to avoid surgery, call QC Kinetics now to schedule your free consultation. Learn about these exciting new cutting-edge treatments for pain caused by arthritis or injury, and the best part, no drugs, no pain meds, and no downtime. This is an all-natural treatment that can get you lasting relief. People in Central Arkansas are raving about the results. Call now. Appointments are available for this upcoming week. QC Kinetics, 501-222-8440. That's 501-222-8440. 501-222-8440.
Oh, my gosh, what a busy Monday show,
busy
Roger.
Monday, yeah, man.
Yeah, we got a busy one tomorrow, though, too.
Yeah, we do Rick Schaefer, John Daly.
John Daly's going to be on tomorrow.
What'd I say?
Oh, listen, we got to play some games, too.
Oh, who?
Family Feud.
I'm done.
And our man Justin Moore.
Oh, and Chuck Gatlin.
Yes.
Yeah, let's skip to Wednesday.
Out of Bounds on 103.7 The Buzz. Live from the Gwatney Chevrolet studio. Gwatney Chevrolet. Driving, trust every mile.
Every time you come around.
Back at it, glad you're with us. Phone lines are open, 661-1037. D3 Auto Sales text lines, help me out. I got my numbers off, but the result's still the same. It was announced there would be an hour in between games of the doubleheader. They took an hour and a half between games.
Oh.
Still the same 30 minutes.
Right.
I was thinking it was 30 minutes and they waited an hour. It was announced an hour in between games, which makes sense. That gives them time to clean things up and get everybody out of the stadium, get them back in. The game ended at 5. Game 2 started at 6:30. I remember. I was sitting in my office, and I'm like, they're starting this game 30 minutes late. I don't know why. When I told the story, I got it wrong. It was an hour originally, and they waited an hour and a half for some reason. Thank you guys for straightening me out. Friday was a long time ago. It was a long weekend, even though it was a short weekend.
That seems to be a long time in between games also. Hour and a half.
I wrote this down. I want to ask Matt Jones and see if he
maybe-
knows why they waited an hour and a half instead of the original hour.
Did they feel like it was weather at that point?
There was none. It was
Well,
nice in.
I'm saying that, they thought maybe it was close enough in the area they wanted to push it back.
Maybe. Well, I'll try to ask Matt and see if he got any kind of explanation. D3 Auto Sales text line 501 says Cowboys going wide receiver at 12. I've seen a couple of mock drafts where it does have them going wide receiver at 12.
Matthew Golden.
I mean, I'd be fine with it and get another receiver with CD Lamb. They need a solid 2. But man, I feel like they need. I would be great with offensive line, defensive line at that position if they can get. If there's a run of offensive linemen and it's the second tier offensive lineman at 12, you don't want to do that. I get it. Or same thing on defensive line. But if you could get like the best defensive tackle, and he is in their mind a quality pick at number 12, that's what I want.
You'll be able to find good defensive linemen, good offensive linemen at 12.
I would think so. I would think you would get one of your top guys at that pick. But last time we talked to Mickey Spagnola, you name a position, they basically have a need.
Corner, safety.
Yeah. Just go get, as long as that guy you draft at 12 is starting for him this year, barring injury, and he's a starter for him the next 10 years, 5 years, barring injury, that's what you want at 12. I'll try to get Mickey on here before the draft. Just catch up with him.
Draft is a toss-up, though, and it's a toss-up even first-round-wise where the outlook on a lot of these players are they're the for-sure ones that you can't miss on. First-round picks are always missed on.
Big G from Bryant says, Wes, I agree with your assessment on the Hogs. The weather delay totally messed up the momentum, and it did. The good news is we are number 5 and tons of promise. Yeah, I mean, no need to panic. Still a top 5. One poll, I think it's D1 Baseball, has them at 5. Another has them at 7. Yeah, they're one of the top teams in the country. They're still fine. Florida's big weekend. Got to turn it around against Florida. Florida's been struggling. Take 2 or 3. I watched a lot of the Florida-Mississippi State series Saturday and Sunday just because it was about the only thing on TV. So we watched a little bit of it. Their pitching was not good. Mississippi State was just crushing the ball. And then the gauntlet begins with Texas, LSU, Tennessee. That's your last 9 SEC games, all top 10 teams. John in Conway, I'm interested to see where Ashton Jeanty goes in the draft. Well, a lot of people, like I said, have him at 7 or 6. 6 is the Raiders, right, Joe? 6 to the Raiders. They said if he falls and the Raiders don't take him, the Chicago Bears are going to have a very interesting choice at 10, that they could have both Jeanty and the top tight end that they're all over to choose from.
Is that Warren
Yes.
from Penn State?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They said both of them may be falling in their lap. And they're like, hey, can't go wrong. Your top 2 guys.
Best player available at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever's higher on your board.
JW says, I don't understand, so help me. If you offered a kid a scholarship to play and then a coach goes into the portal and gets other players and gives the NIL money, and then we end up with too many players on the team of 85, is the number, say, one of those scholarship players hasn't got a chance to play yet? Do you ask him to leave to make roster cups? How is that fair? I don't understand. A lot of times, JW, when the coach leaves, player leaves. In fact, Arkansas signed 2 guys out of the portal this weekend from that same scenario. Kid went from Southern Utah to Kent State. Kent State coach left. He got back in the portal. The kid, the cornerback, Neal, he was at Fresno State, went to Stanford, got to Stanford, and their coach leaves, so he leaves. So it kind of works itself out. They have a thing in recruiting that's what they say. The numbers always work out, and some of it is the coach running a guy off, but a lot of times players leave when that coach leaves. LC says, if Jeanty's available at 12, do the Cowboys take him? Yeah, I think they do. Hour number 2 is next.
March is gone. The brackets are done. Feels like we need some excitement.
Are you kidding? Do you realize how much is going on? Basketball, hockey, baseball, golf. It's like 8 seasons in one. It's the season of action.
And we can bet on all those with the Oaklawn Sports app.
That's the spirit. Now let's go lock in some bets.
Receive a 10% profit boost on qualifying 3-leg parlays. Bet all summer long. Oaklawn Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Gwatney Chevrolet in Jacksonville, we're making your next vehicle more affordable than ever. We're paying the sales tax on every Gwatney Guarantee pre-owned vehicle. Each one passes a 172-point inspection and comes with a 3-month, 3,000-mile warranty, giving you peace of mind at no extra cost. And don't wait on our remaining 2024 models, including Silverados and Tahoes, starting at just $57,990. When the lot clears, the savings disappear. Come see us at Gwatney Chevrolet, 1301 TP White Drive in Jacksonville. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. With approved credit restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Catch the buzz on all of our social media platforms, presented by Luxury Pool and Spa in Conway and Russellville. They specialize in custom in-ground pools. LuxuryPoolArkansas.com.
Game time or playtime, we're here all the time.
I wish you had more time.
103.7 The Buzz, KABZ, Little Rock. Buzz News with KARK's Claire Kreitz.
Pope Francis has died at the age of 88. The first Latin American pontiff passed away following his appearance in the Vatican City to celebrate Easter Sunday. He had just gotten out of the hospital following about a 5-week stay for double pneumonia. Pope Francis's successor will be chosen during a conclave, which is a gathering of cardinals who are charged with electing a new pope in strict seclusion at the Vatican. That is expected to happen within the next few weeks. A large tornado touched down in Cabot last night, causing damage in several neighborhoods. The Lonoke County Sheriff's Office says the worst hit area was the 16th section community near Highway 5 and Highway 319. There are downed trees and power lines. Some homes have been destroyed. A cemetery in the area was also damaged. The good news is no injuries have been reported at this time. This is Claire Kreitz for the Buzz Radio Network.
Be sure and tune in each week when Bree Ellis joins Morning Mayhem, brought to you by the F.L. Davis family of Ace Hardware stores. Ace is a place for all of your hardware needs.
Weather from the Fletcher Weather Center.
We have got a beautiful start to the week with highs today getting into the lower 80s, plenty of sunshine. We'll hang on to those mostly clear conditions as we go in for tonight, lows in the mid-50s. For your Tuesday, staying into the 80s with clouds building in. Moisture returns as we go into Wednesday with rain chances increasing, highs Wednesday in the upper 70s. For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm meteorologist Christopher Pipkin.
Fletcher Dodge wants to buy your car. We'll buy any make or model, and we'll pay you more than anyone else. Please, turn your old car into cash at Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood.
This is Trey Schapp. Tune in each Friday morning at 5:30 right here on The Buzz as I bring you From the Shortgrass, presented by UAMS Health, Orthopedics, and Sports Medicine. If you like to hear interesting stories about the game of golf, this is for you. You can also find it wherever you get your podcasts.
It's the Founders Day sale at Bradford Marine and ATV, honoring the legacy of our founder, Knox Bradford, offering discounts on boats like the Tracker Pro Team 175 with 75 horsepower Mercury outboard and $500 in savings, or a $750 Bass Pro gift card. Or get the Sun Tracker Bass Buggy 18 with 75 horsepower Mercury with $400 in savings, or a $500 Bass Pro gift card. Join us as we salute our founder at the Founders Day sale through Monday at all Bradford Marine and ATV statewide locations. Your authorized Tracker dealer.
Sell, sell, sell. I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's gonna audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
The games are on, the food's delicious, and here you are always part of the team. Welcome to Walk-On Sports Bistro, where every day is game day. Whether it's a post-win celebration, drinks after work, or taking the fam for some made-from-scratch favorites. Walk-Ons is your go-to for good times, craft beer, and cocktails, and bold flavors for fans of all ages, from melty mozzarella logs to Hall of Fame level burgers. Stop by today or order online in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro. Game on.
And ESPN Radio Extra Point with Matt Jones.
He's the worst, and I have a million reasons why I think he's the worst, but for somebody who always complains about how he wants to run off and be left alone and blah, blah, nobody craves the spotlight more than Aaron Rodgers. He has to be the center of attention, and the way that he talked about that was some of the most presumptuous stuff I've ever heard. He said, I flew all the way out there on my dime. Oh, I'm sorry, Aaron. Did you have to take a flight? Like, a lot of people have to take a flight, Aaron. That's called life. And then he was mad that he came out there and was fired. You know what? I think if he had done it the other way, he would have complained about that too. Yes. If they had just called him on the phone and said, hey, man, we're moving on, he'd go, they didn't even have the decency to tell me in person. Right? Like, he's one of these dudes who was just going to complain. He said he wanted to have a 2-hour conversation. What was there to talk about? They didn't want you to be the quarterback.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on retirement contributions, a very handsome reward indeed. With Robinhood Gold, your annual IRA contributions are boosted by 3%. Plus, you also get 4% APY on your cash and non-retirement accounts. That's over 8 times the national savings average. The perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% IRA boost on annual contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rates subject to change. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold at $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Over 8 times the national average savings account interest rate claim is based on data from the FDIC as of November 18th, 2024. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
Live from the Gwatney Chevrolet studio, this is Out of Bounds with Wes Moore and Joe Franklin on 103.7 The Buzz. Your Razor Hog update on Out of Bounds is brought to you by Bradford Marine and ATV with 6 statewide locations. Huge factory incentives going on now on most boat lines. Bradford Marine and ATV, selling fun since 1971.
No red-white game over the weekend. It was canceled due to the weather up in northwest Arkansas, but the coaching staff was busy. They signed 4 players over the weekend. Got the Troy defensive end, Phillip Smith. Shakur Smalls, a defensive back from Maine. Justin Neal, a defensive back from Fresno State. And Trent Whalen, a linebacker that came from Kent State via Southern Utah. Lee was 6'4", 240 pounds. Defensive end. Says he told Richard Davenport, they said they need a dog. Well, I'm a dog. I can't wait to get to work for him. Last year for Troy, had 11 tackles for a loss, 5 sacks, forced a fumble, and a pass breakup as a junior last year. I remember when he went in the portal, and I saw a tweet and a retweet of his announcement. One of the national guys said he would be one of the top defensive ends in the spring portal, and I was like, well, that's what Arkansas needs, but I don't know if they can get one of the top guys. Well, they got him, so that's good. Smalls, 6 foot, 205 pounds. He said he had a great visit. Coaching staff, it's a loving place. Coach T. Will, Coach Woodson, everybody praying before me. It's a great campus to be around. We're all like-minded, so I can't wait to get to campus. Shakur Smalls says it was a no-brainer to come to Arkansas. He had 164 tackles, 4 interceptions while he was playing for the Maine Black Bears, 38 games. So that was over a couple of years. And Arkansas also got Julian Neal. I told you about him. He's a defensive back. He played at Fresno State, went from Fresno State to Stanford, and he re-entered the portal when Troy Taylor was fired as Stanford's coach this spring. And 24/7 Sports rated him as the number 4 cornerback in the portal. So I thought that was a good one. He played with Raylan Sharp at Fresno State, so there was a little bit of a connection. In fact, he told Richard Davenport, "That's my guy." That's a real big influence right there. He has got the physical build of a linebacker, but he likes matching up against the receivers, and it's a defensive back. The last one was Kent State linebacker Trent Whalen, 6'2", 235 pounds. Last season at Southern Utah, he had 46 tackles, 5.5 tackles for a loss, 3 quarterback hurries, pass breakup. He transferred to Kent State, but after Kenny Burns, the Golden Flashes coach, was fired or left, he was fired. He entered the portal. So he played 5 years at Southern Utah and still eligible. Recorded 123 tackles, 14.5 sacks, or 14.5 tackles for a loss, 4.5 sacks. So he's played a lot of football, and he's transferring up to Arkansas from the FCS level. I see depth for the linebacker. I feel like they feel good at their linebackers, but it's always good to have a guy with a lot of playing experience that can provide some depth because it's a violent position. I think Neal is a guy that's going to come in and compete for a spot. Same thing with Smalls. And I like the signing of the defensive end. I mean, they were so thin at defensive end last week that they were running a 3-3-6 and only had one defensive end on the field. So if Philip Lee can come in and show him something, he's got a chance to play right away. Maybe start. Let's hear from Dave Van Horn. The Cost lost 2 out of 3 over the weekend. But one of the bright spots, Gabe Gackle out of the bullpen.
Yeah, he got that slider rolling. He looked like what we know he can look like. And it was fun to watch him pitch, especially the last couple innings. He got on a roll with that breaking ball. Then the fastball was looking even better, at 94, 95 mile an hour. It was really good to see. That's exciting.
Yeah, they won game 1, looked good, scored a lot of runs, and just rolled to a victory. And I felt so confident Friday night. I did. I thought they were going to keep hitting. The bullpen was in line. They had Battle She's on the mound. I knew as soon as, give them 4 or 5 innings, and you could go to Jimenez, who's been their best pitcher, and you still had Wiggins ready. They had everybody ready, and I just really thought that they were going to roll in game 2, but instead it was the Aggies who got it done, and lightning delay didn't help them at all. But Arkansas loses 2 out of 3. They fall to number 5 in the D1 baseball rankings. They're number 7 in another one. Speaking of rankings, the softball team moved up to number 6 in one of the polls after taking both games against Colorado State. Both of them was a walk-off run rule. In fact, the second game, a perfect game by Reese Berline. Matt Jones joins us now to talk a little Razorback baseball. Hey, Matt, how are you?
Hey, Wes, I'm doing well.
All right, the first thing, I just want to get this out of the way. It was announced that it would be 1 hour in between games of the doubleheader on Friday. But it didn't start until 6:30. They took an hour and a half. And I felt like that was a little bit of a bad break because if Jimenez gets to pitch another 30 minutes, maybe it takes you an hour later before that lightning strike. Was there an explanation why they started an hour and a half later instead of an hour as originally planned?
Yeah, they were watching some storms that were in the area. They didn't want to get the game started and then have to, potentially stop it, after the pitchers had warmed up. They didn't want to have that whole 30-minute, 45-minute, hour delay, whatever the case might have been. And the weather, it ended up never really coming through so far as I'm aware. Although, with that 8-mile lightning rule and the way that the press box faces at Baum, I couldn't tell you if it was lightning in the area or not. So that's what happened. They were monitoring the weather after right there toward the end of that first game.
Well, that's weird. It's an 8-mile rule?
It's an 8-mile rule. There's got to be a 30-minute delay for every lightning strike that's within 8 miles of the stadium.
Geez, I went to my weather guys, and all they could find was a lightning strike. It was like 20.1 miles from Fayetteville, but it was 19 something from Baum. And I was like, well, it must be a 20-mile rule. But it was so far away. They were like, man, that seems like a far away lightning strike. But I guess it's better to be safe than sorry.
Well, I think that's what happens sometimes. I think that there's so much emphasis on arm care that you don't want to start a game or an inning or whatever the case might be, and then potentially have to stop it in the middle of it. The weather was a weird deal over the weekend because, I think the forecasters got it a little bit wrong this week. I mean, like Saturday, I don't think it rained after about maybe 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning here in Fayetteville until late that night. So, I think the spring football game could have been played. I think there could have been another softball game played. I think there could have been another baseball game played on Saturday, and maybe some of the things didn't have to happen the way they did.
Recapping the series, what is it that Texas A&M was able to do well, or Arkansas didn't do so well for A&M to come away with the series win?
Well, I go to Game 3 because that Arkansas was in this game in Game 3 up until the lightning delay, and they had to take Aiden Jimenez out because he's like 14 months, not even 14 months yet, really about 13 and a half post Tommy John surgery, and so they want to keep, they want to make sure that his arm is taken care of, and it just felt like the lightning delay just popped the balloon. It was a 3-2 game at that point. The crowd was into it, but then, the delay happens. They have to take Jimenez, who I think is their best relief pitcher right now. They had to take him out of the game. The crowd pretty much leaves almost entirely. There might have been maybe 1,500 or so, a couple thousand left after the delay. And Cole Gibbler came in, and he just did not pitch well at all. It was not like what we've seen from him in the last several outings that he's had. And, gave up a home run, I think, on maybe the third pitch after the restart, gave up another double. And so Carson Wiggins comes in and relieves him, but, he's got a runner on second with nobody out, and things just kind of spiraled from there. They looked tired. It's like, and people will say, well, A&M had to play the same number of games, and that's right. But A&M also had an extra day of rest coming into this because the previous week they had played a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series, and Arkansas had played the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Arkansas had been on the road, so there's a little bit of travel that's involved in that too. They just looked tired, and it was like when the lightning delay happened, the maybe adrenaline that was carrying them through the first 5 innings of that game just kind of sucked out of their bodies. And so I think that really the last 3 innings of that finale, that was the difference in the series, because had there not been a lightning delay, had Aiden Jimenez been able to stay on the mound for another inning or two, who knows how that game goes. But I really think that was the difference, is the fact that it was just kind of a weird scheduled weekend. And I said this before the series started, that I always feel like the road teams have an advantage when you go through these weather, altered weekends, because I don't know why, but it just seems like a lot of times that they seem to play better. And then you throw the Thursday, Friday, Saturday in there. The crowd was not going to be quite what it would be on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It just seemed like everything kind of seemed to break A&M's way. And I'll say this too, guys, A&M's a really good baseball team. They remind me a lot of the 22 Ole Miss team that didn't play up to its potential till maybe the last 3 or 4 weeks of the regular season, and then nobody wanted to see them in their regional. And that team won a national championship. They remind me a little bit of last year's Florida team that didn't play up to its potential for a good bit of the regular season, and then that team was a win away from playing for a national championship. I think A&M could very well be a team that we're talking about in that same vein at the end of this season.
Yeah, I kept hearing after Moss, they didn't have much in their bullpen, but, man, the guy that pitched in Game 2 of the doubleheader, he looked like, even though his ERA wasn't great, he had some nice stuff.
Yeah, and that was the big surprise of the weekend, I think, and that's Luke Jackson, a right-hander.
Yeah.
He had I think his SEC-only ERA was in the 20s. I mean, nobody would have expected that he was doing that. And some of that, too, I think goes back to the fatigue. The fact that Arkansas was playing its 7th game in 8 days, and the hitters just looked tired at the end of that game. Like, the at-bats just weren't as competitive as they were earlier in the day or even earlier in that game. And I think he was able to take some advantage of that.
Game 2 of the series, Arkansas had a comeback win. What was it that changed that game and led Arkansas to the comeback?
Well, I would say it was Gabe Gackle and the defense behind him. You think about after he comes in, he inherited a runner, I think at second base, maybe a runner at third. I can't remember for sure. But Vahiva Aloy made a spectacular barehanded play and, threw over to first and was able to get a runner for first, I think maybe the second out of the inning. And then Gabe picked off a runner at third who was, just really not, I don't know if he wasn't paying enough attention or if he was just being a little bit too aggressive, but either way, Gabe was able to pick him off and get out of there. And then, he pitched well enough that it gave the offense some time to get the starter out and then get to the A&M bullpen. And had a big inning, 6-run inning in there. That's kind of been the MO for this Arkansas team is about half of their SEC games this year, there's been a 6-run, 7-run, or an 8-run inning. And those are huge numbers that has helped turn a game. And that was the key. But I thought the fact that Gabe was pitching so well, it's kind of like when Kevin Kopps used to come in out of the bullpen, it would kind of give the offense a spark. And I think that it motivated the position players whenever they saw Gabe pitching like the old Gabe Gackle. I mean, that was what we've expected to see from him all year. It wasn't just the fact that he had some length to his outing. It's the fact that there was some dominance. There was a slider that was just, really a wipeout slider for a good bit of that outing. And that's good to see. I don't think you're going to see him start anymore with Gage Wood, coming back from this injury and needing to build up his pitch count for several more weeks. I think you're going to see something like that probably in Game 2 of the series where, okay, so Gage threw 20 pitches the other day. Maybe it's 30, 35 the next time out. You have, you have a setup man in like the third inning, and then you get to Gabe Gackle maybe in the fourth or the fifth, and let him take you home if he's on. So I think that was encouraging to see that type of outing from him because, again, that's the Gabe Gackle that we all expected to see this year.
What do you expect to see the next couple of days against Little Rock as far as pitching?
Well, we know Tate McGuire is going to start tomorrow. He's been their Tuesday starter here for the last 3 or 4 weeks now. And, I think the expectation or the hope is that he can get you to the 4th, 5th, maybe even the 6th inning if he's on. And then you go from there. It's a little bit of a different week because there's 2 games in the midweek as opposed to 1. So you might, where you throw a pitcher for 1 inning some weeks, you might ask him for 2 this week. I don't know what they're going to do as far as starting on Wednesday. That might be treated more like a bullpen day. We'll see. Colin Fisher's got some starting experience. I certainly think that, or I guess it wouldn't surprise me to see him pitching in a starting role during that Wednesday game. But we know that Tate's going to start for Arkansas. And then Little Rock, they're going to throw their guy who started the game at Ole Miss last week. He's also Brusick, I think is his last name. I think he's a weekend reliever for him too. So it might be more like an opener type role for him. But that's what I expect to see tomorrow night is Tate McGuire and their typical Tuesday guy.
What's your outlook on the series coming up this weekend at Florida?
Arkansas is in this weird deal right now where they're catching these teams that if you look at their record, you wouldn't think that they were all that dangerous, but all of them are playing really well. So like A&M, I think they've won 9 of 10 after winning here last weekend. Little Rock, they're 18-20 overall, but they had won 8 in a row up until Saturday when they lost the finale of their series against Western Illinois. And they beat Ole Miss last week on their home field on Tuesday. So, I mean, that's a team that certainly gets your attention. And then Florida, they're 27-15. But they had won 7 in a row up until yesterday when they lost to Mississippi State. So Florida's a tough place to play. Arkansas has not won down there since 2012.
Wow.
That was at their old ballpark. This is a new one that was built in 2021. But after Arkansas won at Vanderbilt earlier this year, now Florida's the longest stretch between the last time that they won a game on an opposing field in the SEC. At least in terms of SEC teams that existed before this year. It's been a little bit longer than that at Texas and OU, but it's a tough place to play. I think of it kind of as a bandbox. The wind blows out pretty hard there. I think teams hit home runs. So I think it could be a favorable weekend for Arkansas in terms of being able to have some offensive production. Certainly they need to have good outings from their pitchers against Florida because Florida's always got a lineup that can really hit, and I think that this year's lineup, it's not quite what last year's was. You lose Jack Caglione, and it's hard to replace that. But they've still got some really good hitters in that lineup. They've had some injuries. Florida has that's really hurt them. Cade Curlin, their second baseman was a preseason All-SEC here at his shoulder, and he's out for the season. Yeah, but they've still got other guys like Colby Shelton. He's a great hitter, has been for 3 years in the SEC. I think it's going to be tough because you go into their house, and they're a talented SEC team, and they put themselves behind the 8 ball a little bit with a 1-11 SEC start. And this is a resume type weekend for them too.
Mm-hmm. Matt Jones with us, WholeHogSports.com, also the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. In a crazy way, playing those 2 games, even though they appeared tired Friday night, it may have been good for them to get some rest Saturday and Sunday before starting this week in 2 games and then going on the road.
I think you're right. I asked Dave about it after the game on Friday about, are they tired? He said, yeah, they're definitely tired. And then I was talking to someone this morning, I was kind of relaying my own experience. I was exhausted, just mentally exhausted at the end of that doubleheader. And I was thinking last night, if I was that tired after just being there all day, watching the game, imagine what the players must have been like. And I was talking to somebody this morning, and they told me, they said, if you think you're tired, then the players must be exhausted. And so I think that these 3 days that they're going to have off, and they're not totally off. I think there's going to be some practices, some weightlifting, things like that. But they're able to kind of get away from the game a little bit this weekend, and I think that could be beneficial for them because this time of year it really can start to be a grind. And I certainly think that you can see it. Maybe not so much physically, even though I think there was some physical fatigue in there. I think you can see it mentally, just kind of in talking to the players and looking in their eyes. And you can just kind of see when somebody's tired. And that's kind of what I saw toward the end of last week.
So what's encouraging about what you've seen from this team lately, even though they've dropped a number of games and dropped some games where people on the outside are starting to have some doubt creep in, but what's encouraging about them?
I think that's a good question. I think what's encouraging is what you're seeing at the top of the lineup, Charles Davelin and Vahiva Aloy, and I would even go so far as to say Kahil Aloy, and what he did last weekend. I mean, he was 4 for 11 with 3 RBI, and his batting average is still 386. It's 325 in SEC play. I think all of that's encouraging. I think, Brent Iredale looked like he was probably coming out of his slump a little bit on that last day of the series. He'd been 0 for 18 with 7 strikeouts the 4 games previous to Friday. Then he went 3 for 7 that day, had 3 RBI. He scored a run. So the quality of his bats looked a little bit better. I think, their bullpen looks really good. I mean, Dylan Carter gave him 4 really good innings on Thursday. And, I think he's shown that he's a legitimate SEC reliever, long reliever. Like we said, Jimenez, what Gackle did. So, I think there's a lot of encouraging things. I think that what they've got to do is they have got to figure out what they're going to do at second base. I was a little surprised I didn't see Gabe Frazier more over the weekend against A&M. Yeah, I don't know if this was affecting him or not, but going into it, he was held out of the midweek game last week with some leg tightness. I think maybe something in his hamstring. So I don't know if that affected why we didn't see him very much on Friday. But what you saw for 35 games out of this team was that you didn't have to change the lineup. You went to the ballpark and you knew, okay, these guys are going to be your top 3, these guys are going to be your bottom 3, and your 4, 5, 6 are going to be the same players in some form or fashion. And when Nolan Souza went down against Georgia, I think that there's just been a little bit of continuity that's been lost with the lineup that they've got to figure out how to find again, whether that means Gabe Frazier is their second baseman or Cam Kozel is their second baseman and somebody fills in for him at first. That's what it's just felt to me like the last 6 games, is that there's just been you can feel that continuity. And I don't think that that's something that's exclusive to Arkansas when a player goes down. I was having a conversation this morning with Bubba Carpenter, and he said that's what happened to A&M when Gavin Grahovic went down earlier this year, their third baseman. It took them a long time to find continuity within their lineup again. They went through a tailspin for about 2.5 weeks. And so I'm interested to see what happens with second base this week, because I feel like second base and whatever the fallout is, from who's at second, whether that means you got to take somebody off first or whatever the case might be, I feel like that's kind of the key to this team right now is plugging in and getting second base figured out, and then getting your lineup a continuity between them again.
Matt Jones with us, WholeHogSports.com. Matt, how much money has Vahiva Aloy made this year?
Well, I don't know about this year, Wes, but I think that, just in terms of coming to Arkansas, he's made himself a lot of money because he was a first round. There were people talking about him being a first-round pick coming into this year. What I think is different is that there was nobody talking about that out of Sacramento State 2 years ago. The improvement that he's made defensively is just incredible. And I remember talking to Dave Van Horn before Vahiva had played his first game. This would have been maybe the fall of that first year he was there, maybe the preseason before the 24 season started. And he told me that whenever they brought him in on his recruiting visit, he looked him in the eye and he said, "Are you going to let me coach you?" And he said, "Yes, sir, I want to be coached." And that's really what I see different about him is that you look back at what he did at Sacramento State, I think there were a lot of errors. The fielding percentage was not that good. And, say what you want to about his offense right now, and it's really good. But what's standing out to me as much as what he's doing at the plate is what he's doing at the field. And so he's made himself into a really versatile, all-around shortstop. Of course, that's one of those positions where it seems like there's always a lot of shortstops that are available in the draft. So I don't know how high he'll go, but I'll be surprised, I think, if he's not a first-round pick this year. So I don't know if he's made I don't know how much money he's made himself this year. He certainly has not hurt himself this year. And the other thing that he's done is that he has cut down on the swing and miss. His strikeout totals are way down from this time a year ago. And I think that's something the pro scouts will notice too. He looks to me, people will talk about Justin LeBron at Alabama, but I think that Vahiva has got just as good of a case to be an All-America shortstop this year as anybody. You're going to have a hard time convincing me that there's another shortstop out there that's better all around in the field and at the plate.
Mm-hmm. Matt, great stuff. Thanks for your time. We'll talk to you next Monday.
All right, sounds good, Wes. We'll see y'all.
It's Matt Jones, WholeHogSports.com, Arkansas Democrat Gazette. We'll take a break. Opened up. Rest of this hour is free. Come on in, 661-1037. We'll take some phone calls. I'll check the D3 Auto Sales text line. Still got what's trending. Talk some NBA playoffs. First games are in the books for all the series. Very interesting weekend. Unders were hitting. I saw the favorites went 5-3. Favorites were 4-0 in the Eastern Conference. Rolling. Blowouts. Stick around. It's Out of Bounds.
Pickup Truck Accessory Warehouse presents Match Game on Morning Mayhem. Listen for your chance to play their version of the classic TV game show. Brought to you by Pickup Truck Accessory Warehouse, Arkansas's truck accessory headquarters for over 30 years. Call 501-568-0040 today or click online at arkansastruck.com.
This is SportsCenter.
Arkansas baseball dropped their second series of the year, their second in a row also, this time to Texas A&M. They lost Game 1 on Thursday night 7-4, and then won Game 1 of the doubleheader on Friday 11-5 before dropping Game 2 9-2. After the series, Dave Van Horn talked about the difficulty of playing doubleheaders.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long day. You never know how it's going to go. It's really hard to beat somebody twice in one day, especially when they're good. And we knew that, but we were right there. We had a chance. You know, when you're at home, you're down a run, going into the seventh, lightning delay or whatever hits, and we kind of just didn't respond well to that. Hopefully learn from it.
Arkansas will get back to action tomorrow for a 2-game midweek series against Little Rock. First pitch will be at 6:30. They'll then travel to Florida this weekend for a 3-game series. I'm Christian Weaver for the Buzz Radio Network.
At Gwatney Chevrolet in Jacksonville, we're making your next vehicle more affordable than ever. We're paying the sales tax on every Gwatney Guarantee pre-owned vehicle. Each one passes a 172-point inspection and comes with a 3-month, 3,000-mile warranty, giving you peace of mind at no extra cost. And don't wait on our remaining 2024 models, including Silverados and Tahoes starting at just $57,990. When the lot clears, the savings disappear. Come see us at Gwatney Chevrolet, 1301 TP White Drive in Jacksonville. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. With approved credit restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start.
Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV?
What? No way, dude.
Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
See shelter agent Vic Seidenschwartz in Carlisle, Lawrence Forrester in Cabot, or Hayden Strickland in Sherwood.
If the amazing regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics provided relief for former pro football player Bobby Carpenter, imagine the potential for your aching joints.
So my knee had been bothering me for a while. I played football for a number of years. I looked at talking to some doctors when I need to potentially have surgery, and I decided hey, let's check out QC Kinetics. I go in there and they look at the knee. Hey, here's the program that we can put you through.
That treatment takes your body's own healing properties and concentrates them at the root of the pain. No surgery or downtime.
The best part was there's no recovery until one day I felt like, hey, this feels like my old self again. I feel better. It's helped me. It's helped my dad. Hopefully it will help you in the same way. My message to them is do not wait. So you can go out and play golf and do the things that you love and enjoy.
Take it from Bobby Carpenter. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 501-222-8440. That's 501-222-8440. 501-222-8440.
For over 30 years, Pickup Truck Accessory Warehouse has been Arkansas's truck accessory headquarters and the only stop for all your truck parts and accessories. If it goes on a truck, Pickup Truck Accessory Warehouse has got it. And that includes upgrading your truck with Vortex spray liners. Tough, durable, proudly made in the USA. Their spray liners can protect your truck for years to come. Call Pickup Truck Accessory Warehouse at 501-568-0040 to schedule your spray. Or stop by 65th and University.
Roger Scott here. You guys know how much I love the great outdoors. I mean, I am the naked gardener after all, and there's nothing that I love more than my very own lawn and being outside. But let's be honest, when the mosquitoes attack, it can be a real buzzkill. However, a monthly mosquito barrier from my friends at Sanders Ground Essentials can keep those skeeters away, which keeps my deck party going. Call them today at 315-9395 or on the web at sandersground.com. Sanders Ground Essentials. Let's get growing.
Out of Bounds, live from the Gwatney Chevrolet studio. Weekend Recap, brought to you by Fleet Management Services, serving Central Arkansas for over 20 years. They're your small to mid-sized specialist. When you need someone to service your fleet and get your employees back on the road quick, call 501-375-3672.
Back at it. It's Out of Bounds on a Monday. What a weekend. D3 Auto Sales text line. We got an open segment if you want to join us, 661-1037. Lynn in Sherwood says, my son and I had tickets to the late game Friday. One of the first things we noticed when we went in Baum, it had not been cleaned up. At least it wasn't in the section we were in, which is behind the visitors' dugout. A lot of trash under the seats. It's weird. Thought that was the part of the reason. Well, big reason was the ticket situation. They wanted everybody with Saturday's tickets to go to the first game of the doubleheader and everybody with the Friday night tickets to go to the second game of the doubleheader. I thought that's when you get everybody out, pick up, clean up. Sorry to hear that, Lynn. Let's go to Scott in Arkadelphia. What's up, Scott?
What's up, Wes? How are y'all?
It's good.
Good.
All right, so I got to invoke my sarcasm as a lifelong Razorback fan. Playing the fatigue card. So our answer to playing the fatigue card is to continue to be fatigued. So we play 8 games in 9 days, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we come back, and our reward for that is 1 day off before you play another midweek game, which then you have 2 days off before you play Texas. So I'm driving. I can't do all that math in my head. But something tells me that is not going to be your recipe for the fatigue excuse.
I think the fatigue excuse comes in, but for the 2 games in 1 day, the 2 9-inning games, I think Yeah, you're right. I think that second game of the doubleheader. And you know what I think more than anything, Scott? I think when they had that delay and you come back out and you lose that adrenaline buzz and you look out to the stands and there's nobody there, everybody, the crowd left, the whole energy was just zapped from the stadium. And you think about a visiting team, that's exactly what you want, right? Hell, you don't have anywhere to go. You're like, you're here on the road. You might as well play baseball. We got nothing else to do. And then you go back out there and the crowd's gone. It goes from 10,000 people to 2,000 people. Yeah, advantage of Aggies.
I guess the next 10 days or so, we're gonna find out what this team's really made of down the stretch here, and I'm trying. I'm not trying to overreact. I mean, we've had a hell of a season, and per usual, I mean, we're playing good baseball, but I don't know. It's got a little bit different feel to it, and I don't disagree with the fatigue thing. I've scratched my head quite a bit on why are we playing so many more midweek games when I look around at some of the other schools. They're just not playing as many of those, especially during SEC play. So, but Wes, thanks guys. I appreciate
you bet,
y'all.
Scott. Later, man.
Just the way the schedule is.
Yeah, everybody's going to play the same amount of games.
Yeah, they have to play what it is.
Unless you have a rain out and decide not to make up the rain out of a midweek game. But I think that time off, Saturday, Sunday, a long weekend for them, that's going to pay off. I wish this was a one-game midweek with A&M, but with Little Rock, but that's the way it is. But it's a chance, too, to also get some other players in there. Give them a little bit of a break. Give some guys an opportunity to play in one of these two games. Like, you're going to see a backup catcher in there for one of the games.
Little Rock is coming to play, too.
Heck
we saw
yeah.
what just happened with them. They're trying to win games.
Dude, they're rolling right now. I mean, they had won 8 in a row, or tied a school record for the longest win streak, and then yesterday, unfortunately, lost. Or I guess Saturday, they unfortunately lost to end the losing streak. But they want to go. They got a marquee win over Ole Miss. They want to get another one against Arkansas this week. So no, Coach Curry, that dude, they're going to battle. They're going to play for him. It's going to be 2 tough games. And then you turn around and, like Matt was saying, Florida's been playing better as of late, and then you finish up with 3 top 10 teams in SEC play. But all you have to do, if you're getting a little frustrated, go look at the SEC standings. Go look at the current SEC standings. Arkansas is in second place. Okay? Not too shabby. Yeah, they've lost 2 out of the last 2 series. They're 2-4 in their last 6 SEC games, and they're in second place. It could be a hell of a lot worse. Just battle through it, and these last, we got 3, 6, 9, 12 games left. I'll take 7-5 right now. Maybe that's a good poll question for tomorrow. 12 SEC games left. What are you hoping for? What do you think the record's going to be? I mean, I'll take 7-5 against those 4 teams. 2, 6, 7, 8-4 would be ideal. Win all 4 series. But let's be honest. I mean, with what you have, 2 against Florida, 3 games against Florida on the road, 3 games against LSU on the road. Are you going to win those series? I mean, I'd like to win one of the 2. LSU at home's tough to beat. And then your 2 home series are against Tennessee and Texas. Can't guarantee you're going to win those 2 series, even though you're at home, and Arkansas's been great at home. So 12 games left in the SEC. Yeah, you know what? I would, if you offer me 7-5, I think I'd take it. I know I would take 8-4, but 7-5, yeah, I'll take it.
Plenty of season left to see where it ends, see how it shakes out.
And that's all you're doing. You're playing for seeding right now. Get one of those top 8 seeds so that you can host a regional. If you win the regional, you're hosting the super regional. That's all you're doing right now. Go back to the D3 Auto Sales text line. Let's see here. Kudos to Andrew Armstrong. Sounds like a good young man. Wish him the best. Me too. That was really good. 501 says Jerry Rice is a Hall of Famer. He was never the fastest wide receiver, but he ran precise routes and had great hands. I guess they were talking about what Andrew Armstrong was saying. Even though he did run a 4.3 in his pro day.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah. Is the draft on Fox? No. It's on the dual draft, ESPN and the NFL Network.
Mm-hmm.
They're even going to do some crossover. Have some of the NFL talent on ESPN, some of the ESPN talent going over on the NFL Network.
ABC has gotten involved in the past couple of years, too, so would expect that that's going to continue with more of the college crew, like Kirk Herbstreit.
Mhm.
He's always a part of that.
Yeah,
so.
I like that. I mean, they know the college guys better than anybody because they've been covering them for the last couple of years. The NFL guys are learning about them. They've spent the whole offseason getting to know these guys where they've known about them for a while.
Well, they have these draft experts, though. Those are the ones to look out for because those guys, they study these players and they can project what they'll be like at the next level, how they'll transition to the next level.
501 says Dallas needs a quarterback. Mr. Here we go doesn't win a playoff game. Razorbacks need national championship, and baseball fans are getting restless. They keep getting close and not winning. I agree.
That was funny and really creative.
Mr. Here we go. They're not going to draft a quarterback. Unless they got some kind of plan we don't know about. They're going to trade him and draft the future quarterback.
Well, the fact that they just traded for a quarterback says that they're not going to draft one.
Mm-hmm. They could draft one like late, have as their third quarterback, be a guy they
free agent.
Yeah,
you can always go that route.
True. JW says, "Are we set on basketball players? Do we have enough? If so, what's the full roster so far, and how many? Thanks, guys. I love the show." I don't know that they're set. I bet they're still kicking the tires out there. I think Chad Baker Mazzara reported an offer from Arkansas. Now, I don't know how realistic it is, if he's going to even visit or seriously think about Arkansas. But
according to what we heard, the feedback, be a lot of people that wouldn't be happy with that.
Until he signed and put on the uniform and started playing, then they'd be on board.
Playing well.
Yeah,
playing
well.
That would make the difference.
Got three bigs. I would like to see another big guy. Since they lost out on Nate Ament, I don't know if Nate Ament is truly a big, though, even though he's listed at 6'10". He's thin. Not really his kind of – he's not a banger, not a low post type guy. I saw one of the reasons why he went to Tennessee was Rick Barnes. Rick Barnes had Kevin Durant. He kind of sees himself following in Kevin Durant's footsteps, kind of likes the way Kevin Durant plays, looks up to him. And Rick Barnes has experience with one-and-dones, and so that's why he went to Tennessee. I think Arkansas is good at point. I think they're good if the guard could use another shooter. I would like another, bigger guard, Carter Knox type guy that can come in and play. But not take his minutes, but a backup.
Not necessarily a lot of those guys around, though.
Yeah, and that's the tough thing when you have this many players and somebody's in the portal. They're looking for playing time, money, looking for a chance to get to the NBA. And if they're looking at Arkansas's roster, they're like, where's my playing time?
Interesting also with Carter Knox and him going through the process and being evaluated. That's up in the air. You don't know exactly what his final decision will be, so you have to plan around that also.
When is that deadline to withdraw your name?
It's usually about 10 days before the draft itself, which is mid-June.
Wow, that could last for a while. Okay. Me personally, this is from 501 on the D3 Auto Sales text line. Me personally, I would prefer for Arkansas to get the kinks worked out now. Then during tournament time, like the past couple of years, can't deal with another loss to a team like SEMO in the Fayetteville Regional. No, you want to be peaking in late May, early June. Fix everything right now and stay healthy. And I thought Matt Jones had a good observation and a good point with the Nolan Souza injury, and it's just kind of disrupted the lineup a little bit and trying to figure out who's going to play second. And over the weekend, they made some changes, and that made it, put in a new first baseman. So it altered the lineup. Got to figure that out. Let's go to Savage. He's in Cabot. What's up, Savage?
What's going on, fellas? Good night.
Good.
Wes, as long as Jerry's sitting on the throne in that draft room, Cowboys won't ever do anything correct.
I disagree.
Till the Joneses,
Will McClay's been good, Savage. I mean, that's one thing you cannot knock the Cowboys on. Their draft, since Will McClay has taken over, he has earned every dollar and every promotion he's gotten from the Cowboys.
Well, I guess my frustration comes from in the free agency missed out on Derrick Henry, and then the needs of the Cowboys. You got to get rid of the quarterback situation. Defensively, you got Parkinson or Parsons, whatever his name is. I just get tired of this team fighting with each other, and the draft class never works out. I just don't like it. And then what about the shooting guard from Auburn? He won the transfer portal. We heard any news on him?
No, I haven't heard of a visit or anything like that. But
he's a big shooting guard.
See, what's his 3-point shooting percentage? Is it high enough to something you would want?
Well, he was on a good team at Auburn, so he's SEC. I'd take him at this point. We got a pretty good roster. Adding a piece like that from Auburn, I think would be a good deal. I'm gonna get off there. Appreciate it.
All right. No, that's one of the things I would like is a good 3-point shooter. That's pretty much what shows up when we talk about Razorback basketball, whether it's phone calls or D3 Auto Sales text line. You need one more shooter that can, especially against those teams that will throw that zone at you, and Arkansas has struggled against the zone at times. I would like that. But I don't know. They may have seen enough out of Malik Thomas, out of Acuff, that feel like they're going to be a better shooting team from the outside. But I could see them adding another piece. I don't think they're done, to answer JW's question. Wes, correct me if I'm wrong, but once it comes to regionals, super regional, and College World Series, you get very limited to no rest days. If anything, this should prep them for that, and Dave should be able to prepare. Yeah, I mean, regional, and super regional is just like a 3-game series. Super regional, I mean, it can be as easy as a 3-game series. If you win Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're done in 3 days. But, we've seen it. You lose on Saturday, then you're playing twice on Sunday, and then you have to come back and win on Monday. And so you could have to battle and play several games in several days. But no, the College World Series is different because you play, you're off a day. You play, you're off a day. So you get rest in the College World Series, which is great for teams with the bullpen because you get to rest. You can throw one of your good guys, give him a rest, and he can come back the next game. And if you go, 3-0 at the College World Series, then you're sitting there and move on to the finals. And you get another little rest. And then it's a 3-game series. So really, the hardest, unless you go 3-0, is the regional. Because if you lose, then all of a sudden you're coming through that loser's bracket and you got to play multiple games, 2 games in one day, and that can add up. But now the Super Regional is just like a regular 3-game series. And then once you get there are no midweek games going on. This will be, you think about it, they're going to play 5 games this week, coming off of that stretch where they were playing all those games. But they did get an extra day of rest on Saturday, so I think that'll benefit them. Just talking with Kendall last week, he was excited to have Sunday off, be able to spend time with his family that was coming in. The team kind of was excited about that day off, and then you get a bonus day. I bet they were pretty excited. They ought to be just roaring to go against Little Rock.
Play.
Yeah,
they want to play games, so they have plenty of them coming up.
It's going to seem like an extended break for them. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, no games. All right, we'll wrap up the hour. When we come back, we'll talk a little NBA, what's trending. Stick around. This is Out of Bounds.
It's a tough time. Injured, and it was not your fault. Hurts in the pocketbook, too. Who do you turn to? Don't call a lawyer and find they're out of state or talk with someone at a call center. Call us at the Brad Hendricks Law Firm and talk to a real Arkansas lawyer directly. And remember, the only place that success comes before work is in the dictionary. We'll work hard for you. Have for over 30 years. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
This is the Pigskin Preacher, bringing you the word. The recent terrible fires in Southern California were a real human tragedy. Many there lost their homes, and even everything they owned. In a 2012 book titled The Burning House, author Foster Huntington asked the question, if your house were on fire, what would you take from it? The answers people gave were fascinating, offering a keyhole into personalities, priorities, and interests. The practical, the valuable, the sentimental, all are represented. Here's hoping we never experience such an event, and may God bless those who are rebuilding. If you're looking for a gift to give to someone who could really use a lift, Doublebee's has Exxon and Phillips 66 gift cards available. You can pay it forward by filling up someone's tank with gas. All of us would appreciate that. Doublebee's is where you gas it, grab it, and go. That's Doublebee's.
The leader in sportsbook apps in the state of Arkansas, Bet Saracen, has a club you might want to consider joining. It's the perfect offer for you if you like to play parlays. Head over to the Bet Saracen app, opt in, and get all the details on how to earn bonus cash with the Parlay Bonus Club. It's active through June, and it could be the key to stacks of sportsbook bonus cash. The Parlay Bonus Club on the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Proudly serving Little Rock and the surrounding areas, All About Tire and Brake Tire Pros is your trusted one-stop shop for all your automotive needs. We know that tire needs and auto repair services can be stressful and unplanned, but at All About Tire and Brake Tire Pros, we offer fast and simple financing for everyone. Whether you're looking for new tires or any kind of auto repair, we have your financing needs covered. Visit us in Mapleville or Little Rock today or online at allabouttireandbrake.com. Tire Pros. Love the drive.
It's time to get that new golf cart you have been wanting to ride around the course and neighborhood. Arkansas Golf and Power Sports has the Freedom RXV. Do you have a bigger family and the kids want to tag along? Try the all-new Liberty with the first-of-its-kind 4 forward-facing seats. If you have a really big family and need more seats, the all-new Express L6 Elite is for you. All can be found at Arkansas Golf and Power Sports, where each Easy Go is made in America. Buy American-made at Arkansas Golf and Power Sports. Easy Go. It's good to go.
Hawks Homes is the #1 Arkansas dealer. More inventory than anyone in Arkansas. Been in business for over 39 years. At Hawks, we offer custom-built, manufactured, and modular homes. 1 to 5 bedroom homes that can be built to accommodate all your needs. We also build lake houses, hunting clubs, offices, church, and classrooms. For more information, go to hawkshomes.net, located in Conway and Bryant.
The games are on, the food's delicious, and here you are always part of the team. Welcome to Walk On Sports Bistro, where every day is game day. Whether it's a post-win celebration, drinks after work, or taking the fam for some made-from-scratch favorites. Walk On's is your go-to for good times, craft beer, and cocktails, and bold flavors for fans of all ages, from melty mozzarella logs to Hall of Fame level burgers. Stop by today or order online in the app. Walk On Sports Bistro, game on.
Out of Bounds on 103.7 The Buzz. Live from the Gwatney Chevrolet studio. Gwatney Chevrolet. Driving, trust every mile.
It's happy hour at Twin Peaks, 2 to 7. Later happy hour, 10 to close. Enjoy the food and drink specials there at Twin Peaks during happy hour. App starting at $2. Lunch combos, $7.99. Later happy hour, 10 to close. Flatbreads are on special for just $8. And Twin Peaks is the place you want to be to watch all the sports action that's going on. Plenty of seating inside and out, wall-to-wall TVs. Perfect place to watch any of the sports you want to. NBA playoffs continue tonight. Clippers Nuggets. That got off to a good start. Game 2 is tonight. NFL draft coming up on Thursday. MLB, college baseball, UFL, combat sports, boxing, MMA, golf, soccer, Stanley Cup playoffs, whatever it is. Twin Peaks has it there on all their TVs, and make sure you look through that menu because you can always find something great to eat, something great to drink. It's Twin Peaks, Eats, Drinks, Scenic Views.
Can't wait to get back to Twin Peaks. Be there, early May?
No, June when finals start. NBA Finals.
Oh, that's right. It was a good weekend for NBA basketball.
Oh, yeah.
Good weekend for the favorites.
It really was. Some blowouts.
Oklahoma City?
Yes.
5th largest margin of victory in NBA playoff history. Every time I looked at the score, it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Some great plays even going into the weekend where the 8 seed shook out, and we saw Grizz come away with the 8 seed going against OKC. Ja Morant had a dunk that was fantastic, where he followed the shot, and it's amazing that he knew to follow the shot the way he did, caught it off the rim, put it in over everybody.
Heard them talking last night that they thought maybe the 8 seed after the going through the play-in tournament a little fatigued for that first matchup, maybe a little better in game 2. You buy that?
Could be the case. And also we saw a case of the first 10 seed get that 8 seed spot, Miami Heat.
Hour number 3 is next. It's Out of Bounds.
Fellas, are you flirting with 40? Not feeling like yourself? Struggling with energy and motivation? Low T Center's testosterone therapy is the answer. This April, the consultation is free. Treatment is covered by most major insurance. Find a clinic near you or get treated at home and get back to feeling your best today. Book now at lowtcenter.com.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did? Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
See shelter agents Caleb Green or Brian Kress in North Little Rock today.
It's Justin Akery with Laura Beth from Coffin by Design West, getting you ready for spring. And Laura Beth, let's start with some of the outside options that Coffin by Design West provides for folks who are trying to spruce up their homes this time of the year.
We carry a large selection of in-stock steel products, which include leaf blowers, weed eaters, and lawnmowers.
As far as sprucing up the house for spring cleaning, you have a lot of other options there as well.
We have storage totes, power washers, flower bed tools, planters, fertilizers, all your lawn care needs.
It's Coffin by Design West, out west past Taylor Loop, 14900 Cantor Road, Monday through Saturday, online at kaufmanlumber.com.
Buzz News with KARK's Claire Kreitz.
Police in Conway are looking for a second suspect in a shooting that hurt a student on UCA's campus. It happened around 1 Saturday morning. Shots were fired between 2 vehicles in the Student Success Center parking lot. The student was shot in the leg and is now recovering at home. The university says the student who was shot was just a bystander. One person is in custody, but police are looking for the second suspect. Their names have not been released, but UCA says neither of them are current or former UCA students. A large tornado touched down in Cabot last night, causing damage in several neighborhoods. The Lonoke County Sheriff's Office says the worst hit area was the 16th section community near Highway 5 and Highway 319. There are downed trees and power lines. Some homes have been destroyed. A cemetery in the area was damaged. The good news is no injuries have been reported at this time. This is Claire Kreitz for the Buzz Radio Network.
Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort presents Oaklawn Race Day with Justin Akery and David Wanjanati every Saturday morning at 11. Oaklawn Race Day is your inside track to America's hottest thoroughbred action and Arkansas' source for racing news and analysis. Oaklawn Race Day, presented by Oaklawn, Arkansas's only racing casino resort.
Weather from the Fletcher Weather Center with KARK's Juliana Cullen.
Sunny and dry weather in store for today with warm temperatures warming up into the upper 70s. Well, clear skies overnight tonight will fall down in the 40s and 50s, so it might be a little cool Tuesday morning as you step out the door, but we should warm back up into the 80s by Tuesday afternoon, staying sunny and dry. This is meteorologist Juliana Cullen with the Arkansas Storm Team for the Buzz Radio Network.
Fletcher Dodge wants to buy your car. We'll buy any make or model, and we'll pay you more than anyone else. Please, turn your old car into cash at Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood.
Tune in every Friday morning to hear Danny West from hogsports.com on Morning Mayhem. Brought to you by HJ Trailer Sales. They've got truck beds and utility trailers for every type of job and a service facility for maintenance and repair. Local folks with great products. Visit them online at hjtrailersales.com or in person at 808 Albert Pike in Hot Springs.
At Gwatney Chevrolet in Jacksonville, we're making your next vehicle more affordable than ever. We're paying the sales tax on every Gwatney Guarantee pre-owned vehicle. Each one passes a 172-point inspection and comes with a 3-month, 3,000-mile warranty, giving you peace of mind at no extra cost. And don't wait on our remaining 2024 models, including Silverados and Tahoes, starting at just $57,990. When the lot clears, the savings disappear. Come see us at Gwatney Chevrolet, 1301 TP White Drive in Jacksonville. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. With approved credit restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Are you sick and tired of living with that constant pain in your knees or your back? You know, joint pain doesn't just keep you from doing what you love. It affects your job, your relationships, even simple things like getting dressed. Hey everybody, it's RJ. It's time to call QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics uses advanced regenerative medicine to restore and repair damaged joint tissue, giving you your life back. Hips, shoulders, elbows, they can all be treated with natural biologics from your own body. If you're tired of steroid shots that don't work, or if you're trying to avoid surgery, call QC Kinetics now to schedule your free consultation. Learn about these exciting new cutting-edge treatments for pain caused by arthritis or injury, and the best part, no drugs, no pain meds, and no downtime. This is an all-natural treatment that can get you lasting relief. People in Central Arkansas are raving about the results. Call now. Appointments are available for this upcoming week. QC Kinetics, 501-222-8440. That's 501-222-8440. 501-222-8440.
The Bumper to Bumper Certified Service Center's Indoor Car Show, Saturday, May 3rd at the Conway Expo Hall. Best of show wins a $1,000 Visa gift card. Pre-register at btbautoparts.com. That's btbautoparts.com. Presented by Sullivan's Automotive and Carter's Auto and Cooling.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news and stats to placing bets in just a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code JOEQ to get started today. That's JOEQ, Joe Q. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Live from the Gwatney Chevrolet Studios, this is Out of Bounds with Joe Franklin and Wes Moore on 103.7 The Buzz. What's Trending in Sports is brought to you by Arkansas's own West Rock Coffee. Join West Rock Coffee, the Razorbacks, and their 1.5 million farmers around the globe. It's fall, so now it's time for your team to stock up on coffee, tea, and water delivered directly to your business. Contact them at westrockcoffee.com or 833-886-JAVA today.
Stolen by Jalen Williams, 7th in the league in steals. Wiggins to look. Oh, my goodness. Jalen Williams with the one-hand throwdown off the alley-oop. Final seconds here of the half. They took a point away of that three from Jalen Williams. Gilgeous Alexander.
Thunder roll, what Garth Brooks said. 131-80. 51 points. Outscored Memphis 32-20 in the first quarter. Second quarter, it was 36-16. Outscored them by 20 in the second quarter alone. Third quarter, 44-27. Outscored them by 17. Fourth quarter, got to give it to the Grizzlies. They figured things out, and it was only 19-17.
Well, and John Morant said that they won't play that bad again. He said count on it.
I agree. They will not lose by 51 points again this year. I saw a tweet. I felt the same way. That last possession, Memphis had the ball. I was rooting for the Thunder. I said, come on. You played too well. Don't let them get it under 50. You got to beat them by at least 50. They got to stop and win by 51. I was doing the math during the game, and I was like, they've outscored them by more points than what Memphis has scored. Like, it'd be like 40 for Memphis, but Oklahoma City was up by 42.
Mm-hmm.
It was just one of those games. And it wasn't like anybody with the Thunder just went crazy nuts. It was just everybody. Because the starters didn't have to play that much. You look at their minutes, Jalen Williams played the most at 25 minutes. Not the Arkansas Jalen Williams, the other Jalen Williams.
That's good for them.
Chet Holmgren, 21 points. SGA, 19 points. How about you win by 51 points, and SGA had 15 points? He was 4 of 13 from the field, 1 of 7 from the three-point line. Your best player, the MVP of the NBA, didn't even have a good game offensively.
It shows they have a complete team. They have a lot of other pieces there.
Wiggins had 21 off the bench. Jalen Williams, the Arkansas Jalen Williams, 9 points, 3 of 5 from the floor. Had a couple of threes. Isaiah Joe had a couple of threes. He had 6 points. Yeah, it was all Oklahoma City. And as you would expect, they covered.
Oh, big time.
They were favored by 12.5, won by 51. Easy dub for you. Now to the Eastern Conference. Here's Boston and Orlando.
Pritchard once again keeps it alive. Brown on the drive, gets to the rim. Peyton Pritchard gave the Celtics multiple opportunities. Horford back out. Pritchard, three-pointer, puts it in.
Celtics also cover. They outscored Orlando by 8 in the first quarter. Second quarter, Orlando had a good. In fact, Orlando led by 1 at the half. Then it was all Boston in the second half. They outscored them by 18 points in the second half. They win by 17. 103-86. Boston's leading scorer. White. Yeah, I heard about that on the radio last night.
Oh yeah, he played really well.
7 of 12 from the three-point line.
Knocking down threes.
Yeah. He had 30 points. Tatum and Brown, their two studs, only had 33 points. But when you have a guy like White who's capable, he put up a 30 spot.
Yep, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, they have a lot of players. Al Horford can step up at times. Porzingis, they're deep.
Yeah, Peyton Pritchard had a good game off the bench. See here what Anthony Black. Anthony Black got to play 13 minutes, 3 points, 1 of 4 from the field, had 4 rebounds, 1 block shot, no assists, no turnovers. Not a whole lot of minutes for Anthony Black.
It goes up and down, just depending on the next game.
Speaking of the next game, Cavs, the 1 seed, no problems with the Heat. They win by 21.
Your teammates and play some defense at that. Right here, Donovan Mitchell denying Mitchell on Mitchell crime the ball back, slamming it home.
Mitchell poked away by Wiggins.
Garland, you just heard there. He had 27. Mitchell had 30. They lead Cleveland. Cleveland had a big fourth quarter. It was a tight game going into the fourth quarter, and Cleveland pulled away, wins by 21.
Fans showed up there, too. It's something you see with teams in playoffs and the home team starting out the series where they'll hand out T-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
They had white T-shirts that the crowd was able to put on. They were waving towels everywhere. It was reminiscent of some of their past teams, 60-win teams. This was the third time in their history that they've won 60 games. So they expect to see a lot from this team moving forward, playoffs.
The late game last night, Golden State, the 7 seed, knocks off the 2 seed, Rockets.
Post to Curry. Thompson comes out on Curry. 3. Bullseye.
No way. I mean, that's twice. Shot clock running down. Hands full trying to keep Steven Adams. Look at the shot clock running down. Stephen Curry with his 4th made. Over here smiling. Amen Thompson in his grill. CJ Stroud.
He's going, oh my.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, go look it up. That 3 Stephen Curry hitting on the sideline was that fadeaway 3 with the guy in his face, shot clock running out. Just another one of those stupid shots that he makes. You're just like, yeah, that's Curry. I mean, what do you do? There's nothing else that could have been done on that.
No, but Ime Udoka, Rockets coach, he said that playing a game the way they did defensively, holding Warriors to 95 points, you should be able to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
And they talked about it on TNT last night. Over 1,200 regular season games. How many games would you say both teams were under 100?
1,200?
Yeah, out of 1,200 games.
Less than 10%, so that'd be 120, so 80.
30 games where both teams scored under 100. So that was another example of it last night, though.
Well, it started off slow. I mean, even I noticed the halftime score was 44 to, 47? 34. Yeah, 47-34. Neither team got to 50. The Rockets were held to 13 points in the second quarter. So Golden State was doing something right defensively. I mean, the Rockets may have had just a god-awful shooting night, but give a little credit to Golden State and the defense that they played. They were up 23 at one point, and the Rockets made it a game, got it down to 4. And Moses Moody hit the shot of the night. I mean, it's a 4-point game. Rockets came all the way back. There's about 3-4 minutes left in the game. Crowds in it. I mean, Rockets just kept whittling away. I mean, I was getting a little nervous. I thought Golden State was going to blow this lead, and Moses Moody hits a 3 from the corner. A little drive and just kick it out to a wide-open 3. It was that Podziemski? Podziemski? Yeah, he drives to the basket, drew the defense in, kicked it out to Moses, wide-open corner 3, knocked it down, 4-point to 7-point, and then Golden State just kept adding to it, and then Rockets never got within distance again.
Well, every time Rockets would make a run, then Warriors would just hit a 3 or hit a big shot to extend the lead. So, yeah, they were able to really grab control of it at the end. You know, the score, winning by 10 points, probably doesn't tell the whole story of how the game went, because they did make it close, and it was some angst there at the end. But Rockets had the home crowd behind them, so they were loving everything that was going on at the time. But Warriors, every time they were able to extend the lead.
How do you feel about this series? Because there's no doubt Houston's got the advantage on athleticism and size. Last night, they out-rebounded Golden State by 16, 52-36. They had 22 offensive rebounds. I mean, just dominated the glass, and they still lost by 10 at home.
Yeah, one game. That's how you look at that. It's one game, and we've seen Rockets. They played well against some of the teams like Warriors, but Warriors are just a different team with Jimmy Butler in that lineup. So even though they're you have 2 guys that are capable of taking over a game at any time, and then they have great surrounding and supporting teammates like Podziemski, like Moses Moody, Draymond Green from a defensive standpoint, but he's even capable of knocking down threes at times. They have a really good team, really good core. It's just at some point size could be a factor, not only in this series, but if they're able to advance in other opponents that they'll see, they're always going to be undersized.
How do you feel about Jonathan Kuminga not playing a single minute in the game?
He may get his time at some point. It wasn't there for game 1. That doesn't tell the entire story of what this series could be. He still needs to be ready whenever his number's called.
Yeah, if they continue to out-rebound them like that, and that's a liability for Golden State, I mean, to me, that's an obvious solution, or somebody you can go to try to get some athleticism, get some size, get some rebounding on the court for Golden State.
Even Kevon Looney. He can
Looney,
be an option also.
Yeah, Looney played 8 minutes last night.
But as long as their smaller lineup works for them, and it has worked quite a bit, they're going to continue to go with that. They'll put those bigs in if needed.
Yeah,
and play them a little bit more.
Use, you know what, we'll go small, and we're going to beat you going small. And you know what, you may get a couple rebounds here or there, but they were getting a bunch of offensive rebounds, but not making them pay for those offensive rebounds last night.
Yeah, it's about adjusting once you get into a game.
Yeah, it was funny. So I'm driving back from Shreveport late last night, listening on the Buzz app, and the show starts, and the two guys hosting it, they both picked the Rockets to win this series. And it was just funny as the game went along, how they were sticking with it. You know, they said, I said the Rockets are going to win. I'm still going to pick the Rockets in 7. The other guy's like, yeah, I picked the Rockets in 6. It's going to be a little harder to do, I know now, but I'm sticking with it. Rockets in 6. But the whole keys for them was, you know, the athleticism, the rebounding for the Rockets. And then they were like, you can look at the X's and O's of all these series and see the matchups and believe this team's going to win. But you forget sometimes that other team's got Steph Curry, the best player on the court. And then the other announcer or the other co-host was like, and they got the second best player on the court in Jimmy Butler. And it's like, you know, that kind of outweighs some of the X's and O's and all that playoff experience that they have. This was, for the Rockets, a lot of their guys, they're, you know, a first big-time playoff moment. And they kind of played like it and didn't shoot the ball well. And Golden State goes into Houston and takes one away from them and now has home court advantage. And you got to think, for Houston, this next game on, Wednesday night is must win. They can't afford to go down 0-2 and be going to Golden State.
Oh, any time as the home team, if you drop game 1, yeah, game 2 is really important. And that's what road teams, that's what their goal is going into a series. You want to be able to split on the road and then get home court advantage in your favor.
Jimmy Butler said that last night after the game. That was the whole goal, to come in here and get a split. So and now do you get greedy?
Yeah, that's at least.
Okay.
That's at least what you want.
Those were the games on Sunday. Saturday, the Timberwolves, man, they took it to the Lakers. Beat them by 22 points. The Lakers were favored by 4.5, but the T-Wolves go into L.A. and win 117-95. The Knicks had a huge comeback to beat the Pistons. Pistons were leading in the fourth quarter, and I think was it a 21-0 run for New York in the fourth quarter? They escaped with a 123-112 victory. Nuggets-Clippers was just a classic back and forth, just like a 4 or 5 seed matchup should be.
Went to OT.
Nuggets win it in overtime at home, 112-110. And then the Pacers, the other 4-5 matchup, they knock off the Bucks, 117-98. And the note I saw, Damian Lillard's expected to be back for Game 2. That would be huge.
They said Game 2 or
Game 3. Yeah,
it's still kind of up in the air. But what was interesting is he's on the bench, and Tyrese Halliburton, they're kind of having a back and forth. So, you know, Dame wants to play as soon as he can. Maybe he's trying to speed up that process and get in for Game 2 because of just talking trash back and forth. And the way that Bucks were beaten in that game, he knows that he can be a difference.
Let's go over to Bet Saracen. We got 2 games tonight. Knicks, Nuggets, both are hosting. Knicks are hosting the Pistons, Game 2. Knicks, of course, won Game 1. Knicks are favored by 6.5 over the Detroit Pistons. And then the Nuggets, like we said, close game with the Clippers, goes to overtime. Nuggets find a way to win. Clippers are favored by 1.5 on the road. I think it was the other way. Nuggets were a small favorite at home by, they win by 2?
They won by 2.
They were favored by 2.5.
Oh, wow.
And they didn't cover. And now it's flip-flopped, and the Clippers are favored in Game 2, at least according to Bet Saracen. Tomorrow night, you got the Bucks and Indiana Pacers. The Pacers are the home team, and they're favored by 4.5. Oklahoma City will be back in action tomorrow night, hosting Memphis. They're favored by 14.5. Lakers, T-Wolves. Tomorrow night, the late game. Lakers are favored by 5.5 to bounce back against the Timberwolves. Wednesday, Celtics will be back in action against Orlando. They're favored by 12.5. Cleveland The 1 seed in the East will be hosting Miami. They're favored by 12.5. Some big odds, big lines, first round of the playoffs. And then the final game Wednesday night, Golden State at Houston. Houston favored by 3.5.
Wow.
You know, Golden State was last Friday when we left, Golden State was the favorite. But it switched, and Houston was a small favorite at tip-off last night. And of course, Golden State covers and wins by 10. Game 2, Rockets favored by 3.5 at home. Expecting the bounce back for the Rockets. It's like we said, it's back against the wall. They got to win this game.
Yeah. Rockets, Lakers, a couple of teams that dropped games at home, game 1. Now you expect that bounce back.
Anything else going on nationally? Any big news today? I guess Nico, it became official over the weekend that he was going to sign with UCLA, and now the guy UCLA got out of the portal that was expected to be their starting quarterback, transfer from Appalachian State. He's going to enter the portal. And one of the teams interested in him, the Tennessee Volunteers. Maybe just trading players in the portal. Chris Lowe, that covers the SEC for ESPN, and he's been covering Tennessee forever, said the most college football thing ever would be for this quarterback to sign with Tennessee and UCLA to meet in a bowl game, and then Nico and that quarterback to opt out of the bowl game to get ready for the draft.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, that's college football in a nutshell these days.
So Cooper Flagg has officially confirmed he's entering NBA draft, and J.J. McCarthy is full go for offseason for Vikings.
Okay. Vikings. That was the team, I think, that only had 4 picks in this year's draft and could be looking to drop out of the first round, pick up some extra picks.
That makes sense.
One of the teams that picking in the 20s that may look to add some value and add some picks if they don't have that guy. They're blown away with what's left. And so a lot of teams that are looking to trade back into the first round to possibly draft a quarterback at the end of the first round are already out there kind of shopping, figuring out what it's going to take, trying to find a trade partner just in case it all works out the way they want it to.
Oh, yeah. You're sure that that's exactly what they're wanting to do. If their phone rings, they're going to be listening for sure.
Hey, shout out to Logan Stout and UAPB Baseball. We had Coach Stout on last week when they were playing Arkansas. Didn't beat Arkansas, but they came back home. Swept over the weekend. Got another SWAC sweep. They've won 6 straight in the SWAC. Went from 3-6 to 9-6, moving up in the standings. And so I thought that was great to see. Got a little something special going on with UAPB baseball. And this weekend, I should say, they're going to be tested by the best in the SWAC. First off, they'll go to Conway tomorrow night, play UCA. But then they'll be back home Friday, Saturday, Sunday at the Torrey Hunter Baseball Complex to host Bethune-Cookman. And they're 16-2 in the SWAC, first place. So a red-hot UAPB team winning 6 straight in conference, playing 16-2 Bethune-Cookman. Good story going on down there.
Be a good series coming up.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll start to wrap this thing up. We'll take some phone calls, 661-1037, 661-1037. Talk NBA, Razorback baseball. What else happened over the weekend? Watched a little Mississippi State, Florida baseball. Watched a little LSU baseball. Oh, watched some golf. JT wins. We'll talk about that too. Stick around. It's Out of Bounds.
It's your Razor Hog update on Out of Bounds, presented by Bradford Marine and ATV. It's lake season. Shop for your new boat online at bradfordmarine.com.
This is Sports Center.
Arkansas baseball dropped their second series of the year, their second in a row also, this time to Texas A&M. They lost Game 1 on Thursday night 7-4, and then won Game 1 of the doubleheader on Friday 11-5 before dropping Game 2 9-2. After the series, Dave Van Horn talked about the difficulty of playing doubleheaders.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long day. You never know how it's going to go. It's really hard to beat somebody twice in one day, especially when they're good. And we knew that, but we were right there. We had a chance. You know, when you're at home, you're down a run, going into the 7th, lightning delay or whatever hits, and we kind of just didn't respond well to that. Hopefully you learn from it.
Arkansas will get back to action tomorrow for a 2-game midweek series against Little Rock. First pitch will be at 6:30. They'll then travel to Florida this weekend for a 3-game series. I'm Christian Weaver for the Buzz Radio Network.
The leader in sportsbook apps in the state of Arkansas, Bet Saracen, has a club you might want to consider joining. It's the perfect offer for you if you like to play parlays. Head over to the Bet Saracen app, opt in, and get all the details on how to earn bonus cash with the Parlay Bonus Club. It's active through June, and it could be the key to stacks of sportsbook bonus cash. The Parlay Bonus Club on the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
If you have a passion for adventure and unmatched quality, then head to Honda of North Little Rock with the best lineup of quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. They have Honda's best models and will find the perfect ride just for you. That's Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Welcome to Moe's. Hey guys, this is Brandon with Moe's Southwest Grill. We welcome you in for the freshest Tex-Mex you'll find outside of your own garden. Check us out on Moe Mondays, where we have bowls and burritos starting at $7.99. And remember, your kids always eat free with us on Sundays. Let Moe's cater your next event. Schedule online at Moe's.com. And while you're there, download our app for weekly specials. Stop by anytime, where you'll always get the freshest Tex-Mex, and you'll always hear us say, "Welcome to Moe's."
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
This is Justin Acree with some exciting news. UAMS Ortho Now is now open at the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health. If you have an orthopedic injury, sports, work, or anything else, walk in and get the best in orthopedic care. No appointment needed. Ortho Now is open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to noon. Conveniently located at the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health. For more information, call 501-686-TOSH. That's 501-686-8674.
Hey, what's up? It's Kramer with Drive Time Sports. We hope you have an incredible weekend on a Monday when Randy Rainwater and Mick Schaefer are back live in the Eat My Catfish studio. They're packing in the day with Ray Tucker, Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen, Hogsports.com's Trey Biddy, thanks to Chris Crane Hyundai and Genesis of Conway, and the shooter, Pat Bradley, thanks to Bet Saracen. We'll see you Monday afternoon on 103.7 The Buzz.
Out of Bounds, live from the Gwatney Chevrolet studio.
Take the party wherever we go. Start in the morning, go all night. Waited all week, it's time to come alive. Biggest stage, brightest lights. Down in Tuscaloosa, yeah, it's roll tide. Over in South Carolina, Gamecocks stay ready to fight. How about them dogs in Georgia, Kentucky, Wildcats back? Out on the bayou, there's a tiger loose. Florida orange and
Back at it. Glad you're with us. Wes Moore, Joe Franklin. It is Out of Bounds. Got an open segment if you want to join us, 661-1037. Joe and I will be at the Travelers game tomorrow, going to Dickey Stevens Park, doing the show at the park while the game is going on. Got Screaming Kids Day.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, it's nice weather, too. It's good outside. What's the weather look like out there for tomorrow? So if you can get away, slip away for lunch tomorrow, come eat lunch at Dickey Stevens Park, slip away for an hour, watch a little baseball. Tomorrow's weather, 1 o'clock, looks like it's going to be 76 degrees. It'll warm up. to a high of 80. Yeah, tomorrow's high is 80. So pretty good weather right there for late April. Be fun. So we'll get some guests on from the Travelers. Also on the show tomorrow, we got Landon Jackson. He's going to join us at 1:30 to talk about his pre-draft workouts and visiting with different teams. So it's be good to catch up with him. Coach Z at 2:10. So we'll have a full show tomorrow.
Landon has taken some of those top 30 visits. So anytime you see a player that is connected to a team in a top 30 visit, always pay attention that that's a player that teams are really interested in.
Mm-hmm. I think he's he could sneak in day one in the first round, but he's a day two for sure if he doesn't go in first round, second or third round pick.
Mm-hmm.
The new baseball rankings are out. All the polls are out. Arkansas is number 4 in the USA Today coaches poll. They're number 5 in D1 baseball. They're 6 in the National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association and Perfect Game. They are 7 in Baseball America. So anywhere from 4 to 7. I usually go with D1 baseball when I'm talking about them on Fox 16 or here. So that's what I'll keep going with, even though it's not the lowest. I know, for example, Matt Jones and WholeHogSports.com, Democrat Gazette, they'll use the USA Today coaches poll. So they'll have them at number 4 in the paper or on the website this week. I'll be calling them number 5. We know they're a top 10 team. The Player of the Week ranking or the awards came out today for the SEC. No surprise if you watch any of the Arkansas A&M series, but Jace Lavalette is the SEC Player of the Week. That dude caught fire. I think he hit 4 home runs against Arkansas. At least one in every game. He had a game with 2 home runs. Dude, he came into the series with only 11. This is a guy, what he hit last year, like 30-something home runs, came back to school, projected first-round pick, and got off to a little bit of a slow start. He only had 11 home runs, but he leaves Fayetteville with 15 home runs now after hitting 4 over the weekend.
So he's halfway there, back towards that 30.
Well, a big guy, and he's got power to all fields. I can't remember which pitcher. It's been so long ago now, like it was a month. But he took a fastball outside and just laced it to left center opposite way and easily hit a home run. Just has power to all fields. Dude can just swing the bat. But Jace Lavalette, he's a big reason why A&M won that series. In fact, he gave them the lead in Game 2. I think Arkansas, I could be wrong, but I think Arkansas had a 1-run lead and 2 outs in the inning. Guy ahead of Lavalette hits a single. They elect to pitch with it, and it was a Jimenez, their best pitcher, and it's a lefty-on-lefty matchup. Jimenez came into the game. Left-handed batters were hitting 3 for 31 against him. 3 for 31. That's 1 every 10 at-bats, or less. So left-handed batters were hitting less than 100 on him. And that's the one. He threw it was a high strike outside, but it was outside. He probably threw it a little higher than he wanted to. And Lavalette just went the other way with it and crushed it to left center, opposite way field, home run. And A&M takes the lead.
Now, are you saying he's best pitcher overall or best from the bullpen?
That's a good question, Joe. The way he's pitching right now, he did give up a 2-run home run to Jace Lavalette. He may be their best pitcher right now. Yeah. Like when he comes into the game, I feel good. He came in, Arkansas won, I felt really good. But I hated it when he gave up this 2-out single, and that brought up Lavalette, and I'm like,
that's not really good, though.
Do you walk him?
You want your best pitcher to be in that starting rotation.
Yeah, he's valuable, too, though. He can come out of the bullpen. He can throw 5 innings and close out a game, 4 innings. He come in 6th inning in a close game, 6, 7, 8, 9, you're done.
Now,
kind of like Kevin Kopp. Now, Kopps could go twice a weekend.
Right.
Jimenez isn't coming off ACL.
That was a unique story in Kevin Kopps altogether.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of those rare, unique stories where your best pitcher is coming from the pen, but you feel comfortable with that. in most situations, you don't want that to be your best pitcher.
Gabe Gackle looked awesome. Game 1 Friday afternoon, he went 4 innings, and he had his slider going with his fastball, and he tunnels it to where the batter can't tell what's coming, and he'll throw a fastball by him and then follow it up with a slider, and they look silly. And he had 8 strikeouts in 4 innings. I mean, he was just rolling. And you're like, where's this Gabe Gackle been? You know, if he could pitch like that as a starter, he'd still be a starter. But all they did was move him to the bullpen, bring him in later in the game, and he pitched lights out. So if they can repeat that performance from him, yeah, they got a little something going with the bullpen. It's encouraging. I'll say that. Man, did you hear this? Did I talk about this? The potential to trade A.J. Brown, Philadelphia?
No, but yeah, heard some things about that where they're just trying to connect the dots with Vrabel.
Mm-hmm.
And A.J. Brown at times last year appeared to be unhappy because of the offense that they're running. But also you're talking about being on a Super Bowl champ and a really strong team with a chance to go far again this year. So why do you want to
mess with that?
Exactly.
Yeah, when I heard that, I was like, that doesn't make sense to me. I told you about Jay Lavalette being the Southeastern Conference Player of the Week. Congratulations to Little Rock's Chaplin. He was named the OVC Player of the Week. He was the young man against Ole Miss. They hit the go-ahead single to give Little Rock the lead late against Ole Miss. Then he followed it up the next inning, had another hit to add to their lead. Over the weekend, I think he hit 3 home runs. Had a huge weekend and a huge week, and today he was named the OVC Player of the Week. Little Rock Trojans take 2 out of 3 and stay hot. And tomorrow night, they're in Fayetteville. Tomorrow night and Wednesday night. Early starts. 6:30 tomorrow night. Pregame show on the Buzz at 6. And then it's a 5 o'clock start on Wednesday, 4:30 start.
Sure, drive time to look forward to that.
Just walk in, say hello, turn on the mics, do an interview, and say goodnight.
Having to cram a lot in, though, in a 30-minute show.
Yeah, I remember us during the state tournament having to do that, too. It makes it difficult to squeeze in a lot of your guests.
And it's not even 30.
Some of your segments. No, it's not. What is this? Oh, Arkansas basketball made it official that Kareem Rattel has signed with Arkansas, the Lebanon player, FIBA player. We had seen it, but I guess they just made it official. His agent had announced that he had committed to Arkansas, but he is now officially signed with Arkansas. That's the difference, I guess. Let me check the D3 Auto Sales text line before we hit the break. 501 says, shouldn't we know how much a team pays a player? Your thoughts?
No. I mean, that day may be coming, though, as far as when they're going to split revenue and have a certain amount that each team has to pull from. So at that point, maybe there is some clarity, but at least you'll know what the team is spending overall.
I think in certain cases it might help because, there were the rumors about what Arkansas was paying to some of the guys last year in the portal. And I know I'd be on the street and somebody go, is it true they're paying Nellie Davis like $1.5 million? And I'm like, look, I don't know for sure. I just know what I've been told. It's not that much. And so I think in a way it could help a player. People out there are thinking he's making a lot more than he's actually making, and they maybe cut him a little bit of a break. But I think there'll be that shock value too for some people, Joe, that we're in it. We're talking about it every single day, and a lot of our listeners are listening to us every single day, and they're talking to people, and they're so they have a grasp of what's going on with NIL and what some of these people are making. There are a lot of people out there that don't have a clue what these college baseball or college basketball, college football players are making. And so when it becomes, available and it's out there, I think some of them are going to be shocked that players are making that kind of money to go to college free, be on scholarship and get their food paid for and housing And they're making this on top. I think there will be a lot of people that are very surprised.
But it opens them up for criticism also. And that's the people that want to know that there are a lot that want to know simply so they can criticize, saying, well, why is this player making this amount and we're not really seeing the results on the field or on the court?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like it is. It's professional. They're getting paid, but it's like you see on your team. You know, one of your favorite players is making X amount, and he's out producing another guy that's making all this money. You know, that player gets criticized.
It's not really talked about on the pro level. I mean, we know what everyone is making. I mean, it's public knowledge. You can look it up. You can see exactly what they're making. Nobody really talks about how much someone's making and how that equates to how they play. It's not really talked about. But now with college, it seems like everybody wants to know, so they'll be able to talk about it.
It seems like we get a lot of texts about what Dak Prescott's making and how many playoff wins. They know that big contract.
Not a lot, but I mean the fact that Dak is the highest paid quarterback, that's what
puts a target on his back.
Yeah, because I mean we can look and see who should be the highest paid quarterback. I mean, there's no secret to who should be, or maybe the top 3, 4, and Dak. It's just
the latest to sign.
It's the market.
Mm-hmm. Whoever signs next, whatever big-time quarterback signs next, will pass Dak, and he won't be the highest-paid quarterback anymore. But to answer your question, shouldn't we know? I don't know if we should know until the new settlement, the lawsuit is settled, and then the university starts paying the athlete. Then I think, I guess we should know. Then it would be public record, and it'd be just like we'll know what every coach makes. Because it's public record. It's public university that's paying these guys. Jim,
but that won't put any kind of cap on their NIL.
No.
I mean, they can still make a big amount from the NIL that nobody will know.
Correct. We'll just know what the university is paying them. Jim's in North Little Rock. What's up, Jim?
Yes, my question would be, how much does the Razorback Foundation, do they pay for all of the food, the electricity, room and board for the athletes?
Not the foundation. No, I don't think so. No.
Okay.
I think the foundation's mainly
for,
the school pays for their scholarship, the boarding, the food plan, but the foundation is mainly for the college coaches.
Okay. Well, if taxpayer money is going to help support the athletes, well, then there shouldn't be a problem, saying how much they make.
Well,
not one bit of problem.
I don't know that any taxpayer money is going to the football program right now. That's all revenue generated from like TV contracts, ticket sales, merchandise, stuff like that. It's a self-sufficient program.
I mean, does the property up there, is the upkeep of the property, the football field, and all of that, is that paid for by the state money?
I think that comes from the athletic department budget, and the budget is supplied by the revenue they get from March Madness, the SEC television contract. The millions. What is it? What's it up to, Joe? $54 million that the SEC is giving every team.
Somewhere around
I think
there.
it's part of their their athletic department budget.
I don't have a problem with them getting paid, but I think it should be, the people should know, exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
No problem there.
Okay,
thank you.
Yeah, you bet, Jim. Yeah, I think some transparency would probably help. And that was one of the clips we played from, it was Charlie Barker, wasn't it, Joe? That he was, that's exactly what he said, that we need transparency. We need, we need better rules.
Charlie Baker.
Baker, yes. We need some of that in college football, and that would probably help with some of the confusion. I agree. 501 writes in, Wes, I've been away from the radio working outside. Is the draft on Fox? No, it's on ABC and ESPN.
Somebody is trolling.
No, it's the same guy. He asked it once, and he said, I've been away from the radio, so he didn't hear us ask it earlier.
Well, I mean, it was asked before, too, though. Last week.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
No. Fox, we've got
may need to
XFL or not XFL
type of response. to that.
UFL.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll send him a text. Then let's go, Dizzy. Hey, Dizzy, what's up?
Hey, what's going on there, fellas?
Hey, man.
Hey.
Hey, man, I was driving here and I was listening to the previous fella that called, man, and he's absolutely right. There is no way that you can separate taxpayer dollars from a public institution. I mean, you can hem-haw around and try to say that, yeah, it's coming from this budget and ticket sales, but the good people of Arkansas support that university, and there's no way you can handpick and separate those dollars out.
Well,
So,
the question
I
is,
mean,
does tax dollars fund the program? And it does not.
Absolutely, indirectly it does. I mean, you may not say that the money is going in those student pockets, but the taxpayer dollars are paying for the facilities of that university, where those kids are going to get education, where those kids are sleeping, what those kids are eating. And at the end of the day, yeah, you may be able to separate it out and say, well, yeah, the ticket sales are doing this, but that is a publicly supported university by the state of Arkansas.
What about tuition? How far does that go towards supporting a university?
Oh, it's a feedback cycle. It's a feedback cycle. So the kids pay the tuition, but that is every state-supported institution in this state and in most other states. I can't tell you what they do in Louisiana, but our law states that there are certain line items that our tax dollars go toward to support that institution. And every student that goes, the athletes are not separated out. Every student that gets an education at the University of Arkansas, they benefit from taxpayer dollars. Now, like I said, you may have a certain point to where, what some ticket sales and boosters and all this other stuff does, but that you can't separate it out at all. So I was just calling that previous gentleman. He knew what he was talking about, and he was kind of nice about it. But yeah, public-supported institution taxpayer dollars for sure go to support every student that goes and gets an education from that university. And we deserve to know what's going on up there if my taxpayer dollars are contributing. I'll hang up and listen, guys.
Okay, Dizzy. I'll stick with it. The money that the athletic department has is not coming from a tax dollar. Yeah, you can wrap it around and say in a way that it goes to the university and it goes to that classroom that they're sitting in and paying the teachers. Okay, I get it. But what we're talking about is the athletic department. And it's a self-sufficient athletic department that gets their funds from SEC TV contracts, March Madness, boosters, season tickets. It's a
sponsors.
Huge budget that the athletic department, not the University of Arkansas, the athletic department has, and they do not take money from the University of Arkansas. In fact, for years, they've donated money to the University of Arkansas. Not all universities do that. And some universities take money from the university and use it for their athletic department. They're not a self-sufficient athletic department. The University of Arkansas is. You can twist it any way you want to. So, yeah, you're right. Cost of attendance is the stipend he's probably talking about.
Well,
I think that still comes from the athletic department.
Almost as if he's saying it's fully funded by taxpayer dollars, which is far from the truth.
Any way we can move on? Or move up to get Ashton Genty at Dallas. Do you think it's worth it to move up a team that has so many needs to give up a draft pick? Because you're probably going to, what, Joe, a second-round pick? Okay. Ooh, got to give up a second-round pick, maybe a third-round pick to move up? I don't want to give up another player, a potential starter.
Well, no. Cowboys.
At 12.
No. Hold on. Cowboys are one of those teams. I believe they have 10 picks overall. So if they have that many picks, yeah, they're in a position to be able to do that.
I think a lot of the Cowboys picks are late in the draft.
But they're still one of those teams. You have so many picks. If you trade away some of those picks, it's not going to hurt you.
Yeah. But the extra picks, I'm saying, like, are in the 6th and 7th round. Or will a team take 2 6s and 2 7s to move for the Cowboys to move from 12 to 5? I don't think so.
They may have to give up something in next year's draft.
Okay. I don't know if I want him that bad. We got to take a break.
Whatever you're doing this weekend, if it doesn't involve fast horses, daily doubles, high fives, and corned beef sandwiches, you may be doing it wrong. Every weekend through May 3rd, Oaklawn has live thoroughbred racing. Whether your Oaklawn is cheering from the home stretch, dining in the Bugler restaurant, or raising a glass at the First Turn bar, your race day is whatever you want it to be. Make reservations today at oaklawn.com.
This is my Oaklawn.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
With Progressive, renters can save on protection for the things that make your place yours, even things that don't make sense to everyone.
People always wonder why I don't get rid of my guitar since I never play. But it's like, what if I actually end up taking lessons? Sure, I've had it for 8 years, but if I get rid of it, then what will my New Year's resolution be next January?
Exactly. So bundle your renters and auto and save with Progressive and protect the things that make sense to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. Babbel is designed with you in mind. From expert-created lessons to conversational video units and even live classes, you can personalize your Babbel experience to be exactly what you need to really learn a new language more easily. Go ahead, set a goal for yourself. Accomplish it with Babbel. Try Babbel for free. Go to BABBEL.com. That's Babbel.com.
Mega Millions now has better odds, bigger prizes, and the highest starting jackpot in America. Top prizes start at $50 million and increase rapidly until someone wins. What else is new? How about no more break-even prizes? Win anywhere from 2 to 10 times your bet. And the multiplier? It's no longer an add-on. Mega Millions is always $5 per play, bells and whistles included. Play today in stores or on the go. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Proudly serving Little Rock and the surrounding areas, All About Tire and Brake Tire Pros is your trusted one-stop shop for all your automotive needs. We know that tire needs and auto repair services can be stressful and unplanned, but at All About Tire and Brake Tire Pros, we offer fast and simple financing for everyone. Whether you're looking for new tires or any kind of auto repair, we have your financing needs covered. Visit us in Mapleville or Little Rock today or online at allabouttireandbrake.com. Tire Pros. Love the drive.
It's a tough time. Injured, and it was not your fault. Hurts in the pocketbook, too. Who do you turn to? Don't call a lawyer and find they're out of state or talk with someone at a call center. Call us at the Brad Hendricks Law Firm and talk to a real Arkansas lawyer directly. And remember, the only place that success comes before work is in the dictionary. We'll work hard for you. Have for over 30 years. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's gonna audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Out of bounds on 103.7 The Buzz. Live from the Gwatney Chevrolet studio. Gwatney Chevrolet. Driving, trust every mile.
Back at it. Gwatney Chevrolet's dealing in April. Some great things in the month. Right now, for example, if you want a 2024 Silverado or Tahoe, they have those severely knocked off. They're trying to get rid of all the 2024s. The price tag is coming way down, like $59,000 for Tahoes in suburban or for the Silverados 2024s. They got a bunch of 2025s, so they're getting rid of the 2024s. And right now, if it's a previously owned vehicle you want, and they got a bunch to choose from, Gwatney Chevrolet is paying the sales tax. You don't have to go to the tax department and write that check, that sales tax. Nobody wants to do that. Let Gwatney Chevrolet do it for you. Go to the website, GwatneyChevrolet.com. Take a look at all the inventory, all the vehicles they have, and then go to the James Street exit in Jacksonville. Do a little test drive. Take advantage of the deals in April. It's happening all month at Gwatney Chevrolet. Coming up tomorrow, we'll head out to Dickey Stevens Park to watch some Travs baseball. Come on out and have lunch with us. Spend some time tomorrow afternoon hanging out with us. We also have Landon Jackson joining us at 1:30 and Coach Z at 2:10. It's going to be a fun Tuesday. Joe, have a great night. Enjoyed it.
You too.
It's a good weekend recap brought to you by Fleet Management Services. Have a great night, everybody. Drive Time Sports is next.
At Gwatney Chevrolet in Jacksonville,